They've been able to get these deals done. You know, the sky was falling when the Bucks win the Super Bowl and they're able to re-sign all their guys back. The sky is falling. They're able once again to re-sign all their guys. The sky is falling with Levante David and Jamel Dean supposedly going somewhere else. and they re-sign them. So I think this is where you have faith in Jason Light and Mike Greenberg and Jacqueline Davidson over there, because they know what they're doing. And Bucs fans, just sit back, relax, put your seatbelt on, because the rumors will be flying about Mike Evans supposedly going to those places that I mentioned in Kansas City, Houston, even the Chicago Bears. But at the end of the day, my prediction right now, it is a lock. Baker Mayfield will come back. Mike Evans will come back. Antoine Winfield will come back. Tristan Wirfs will come back. Levante David will come back. This organization and administration knows what the hell they're doing. Just sit back and relax. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, a special edition of the Sports Web here on Saturday afternoon, kind of like the old days out there at Ferg's. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show as we always do here on a Monday, Wednesday night, sometimes Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, anytime there's breaking news when it comes to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your Tampa Bay Rays, or Tampa Bay Lightning. Three things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here they are. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On today's show, we'll have Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy live down there at the Trop, as the Rays right now are playing the Kansas City Royals. They lost last night and are losing right now 1-0, third inning. So we will keep you up to date on that. We'll have him coming in here in just a couple minutes. And then a special guest appearance here from Coach Larry Wade of the Jake Paul camp. He's training Paul. Of course, all eyes will be on Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix on July 20th. So we'll get him in here, have an interview with him, talk with him a little bit. And then, as always, we'll talk with you about the Tampa Bay Rays, as they are clearly struggling right now. Losers of, 5 in a row. They lose to Toronto there. They win 2 out of 3, but lose that game. Get swept by the get swept by the Red Sox. And then also they lose to the Royals. So we'll see if they can hopefully put some hits together. Hopefully the hitting can come together, but it's not going to get any better, if you will, because there was just breaking news here the last hour and a half. Josh Lowe is going on the IL for 10 days with an oblique injury. You also have Erasmo Ramirez being designated for assignment. Now he's down at AAA, so lots of moves to come. Could there be some more moves that are coming with this team going forward? With that being said, Kevin Cash was asked about last night's loss, as they lost to the Royals once again, 8-1. This in care of Bally Sports. Enjoy.
What are you seeing from your offense as a whole that isn't getting it done?
Well, every facet of it. I mean, we're expanding. We're expanding on pitches that we probably can't handle. The pitches we can handle, we're not doing any damage with. We're not able to piece too much together right now. So, I mean, it's kind of all encompassing.
How do you change that?
Hit better. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're getting the messages. They're putting the work in. They're doing. But at the end of the day, you got to start getting some results. We have not gotten results to date, and certainly didn't tonight. But we got to hit better.
Just to follow up, what's your level of concern at this point?
Because I'm concerned. Yeah, but I've been concerned for quite some time.
Anything else?
All right. Yikes.
This guy sucks.
The team right now sucks. But again, it's about ebbs and flows. So the question of the day for Rays fans, how concerned are you from 1 to 10? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We also talk about your Tampa Bay Bucks on this show. We'll throw it out there. If you want to give some type of win prediction for the schedule that was released the last couple weeks, you could definitely do that. How concerned are you about Tristan Wirfs? That was the other news of the week here. Not showing up to OTAs, not a big deal. But going back to the Rays, I want to get out to this guy right here, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, live there in downtown St. Pete. Let's take a look at this shot right now. Look at that shot. Welcome to the episode.
Yeah, Pete, but I just want to report. I can see right now there's a window on the west side. Those who go in through Gate 5 are very familiar.
Okay, I think we lost Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, so I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation out there is, but we'll try to bring him back on as we lost him there. So there you go. That's you got to love live television at the end of the day. And I think he's back. All right, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, what's going on, buddy?
I was going to say Eric Neander's waving the white flag, but no, so the bit gets entirely wasted by bad Wi-Fi. But it didn't help the direct. Brother, I'm good. I'm excited about an afternoon of the evolution here in the sports level. I'm excited the big guests we have on here. I'm excited to talk about all the sports, but especially that Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, the problem child versus Iron Mike. I think it's just going to be a great conversation, and the fight in July is going to be exciting as heck.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too. And we've been trying to get him on, and of course he's got a busy schedule, and he's training, Paul, of course, and everybody's getting ready for that fight. And I can't wait for it because I don't think Paul gets enough credit. A lot of people will talk about, how he hasn't necessarily fought boxers and hasn't done this and hasn't done that. And I just wonder, and probably one of the questions I'm going to ask Coach Wade is, if he does beat Mike Tyson, will it silence the critics? What do you say?
I don't. Ooh, that's a great question. But all I know is the fact that Jake Paul's done nothing but put serious resources into this. He committed to this going 3 to 4 years back, and everything him and Logan have been doing since their early days of rocking YouTube up through the fighting, the boxing, how seriously Jake's taking this. And I love the fact that you've got Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis over across the pond there on the mirror. They're all getting back into the conversation. So right off the bat, I'm just excited about getting some of the old timers, getting some of the and guys our age, Peter, that remember the Iron Mike days. We're talking about the sweet science again, and that's what I find the most exciting.
It is. What's not exciting right now is this Rays losing streak. I mean, you've watched this team. They've definitely struggled, whether it's injuries, whether it's pitching, whether it's hitting. It's all equally bad right now. And again, Cash was asked about the panic level. Are you panicking? Where is your panic level with this Rays team? Is it time to panic? Is it time to make some major moves here now? Josh Lowe going on the IL. I mean, what do you say, Tampa Bay Ray?
And I think the fact of the matter is, with those serious moves, again, I got into a conversation with a couple of people just yesterday about this, and we're only here not even out of May, but you're running in some seriously hot teams. We haven't even really gotten to the meat of the East, haven't even faced those Orioles, getting on the road, and it's going to be tough. And if the resources you're putting, because, Tristan's the first one, bring this guy up. He's got all the names down at Durham. He's got all the names in the farm system. Bring this guy, bring that guy. And I said, look, let's find that shortstop or second baseman. Let's find the tools, because going into this season with Rasmussen and Jeffrey Springs and Shane, we already knew. It was like, wouldn't it be great if we got to, July or August and we were in the hunt as we got guys back? And the fact of the matter is, we're not getting those guys back anytime soon. And right now they're just trying to keep their head above water.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they're trying to do right now, and they're in a situation with Savali, who hasn't necessarily pitched that well this year. In fact, I think he's been one of the most disappointing aspects of this team. What do you say? And there's a base hit. There's 2 runs right there on a 3-2 count. And, Yep, that is, 1 run in there. Bobby Witt Jr. doing the honors. Men were on second and third there, so now it's 2-0. Royals, and once again, Rays in a bad situation. Going back to Savali, what do you make of it? Because coming over from the Guardians last year, he was impressive. I was excited about that move. Finally Tampa Bay making a great move there with getting a pitcher that could solidify that rotation to a certain degree, and he just hasn't been it. I mean, it's not working. It's not going well at all, especially when he gets second or third through the order there. It's just not working right now.
You know, there have been times so far this season, Peter, even in the games where he's had a loss or he ended up getting touched. There's been moments where he's been that pitcher, that one that we thought, okay, this is going to strengthen a great pitching staff, or as we're searching for that, as his arms started to go down last year. And he's shown flashes of it, but the problem is that the Braves don't have the offense basically going hardly at all. But then trying to get the offense going when the pitching's going, or trying to get the pitching's going when somebody's finally swung the bat and when you got a couple of home runs. So then not only is it an emotional team that we're seeing, an emotionless Rays team, but also a team that's just not getting those cylinders firing at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. What you're watching right now is a special edition, a Saturday afternoon edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Open phone lines if you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Rays. Where's the concern level from 1 to 10? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391, as we're also on TikTok. Hello, Elaine. What's going on? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, also on Instagram Live. So we'll check in the comments. Let's go out to the webheads here on Facebook. Tim says, good afternoon, fellas. Very concerned. I knew there was a problem when they got swept versus the White Sox. Going back to it, they get swept by the Cincinnati Reds and nobody thinks anything of it last year. Why is anything different now?
Well, not only because that White Sox team is so horrendous, but they had that sweep. And I'll take Tim another step further. That's why when the Rays got that near sweep, or when we came home and had to sweep versus the Mets, and then we almost had it again versus those White Sox, that we thought, okay, this is that emotional Rays team. But it just seems like if every time that Kevin Cash runs out to the in the backyard there to the tool shed to pick something up to come do the job, he doesn't have the proper tool to insert. And that's why it seems like they're kind of like, trying to, ice skate or trying to walk. I got nothing. You know what I mean.
We're walking on eggs at this point.
Yeah.
And I think, one of our colleagues, Mr. Tom Krasnicki, T-Kraz of 620, 95.3 said it best. It seems like this team is not having a lot of fun right now. They're scared to make those mistakes. We've seen this in the past with teams. Looks like a double play right there. So the Rays are out of that inning with bases loaded situation. So now 2-0 Kansas City. Let's see if the Rays can put something on the board here. But
last inning they put the guy on second and there's no outs, and you're thinking there's some, and that's the problem. So we've even said the other day, we're talking, we like the fact that we had a bunt early on, we're playing small ball, and the fact that they're not playing small ball, but they're leaving. So I think probably right now, I don't know this, Peter, but I think if you take this game of the season, there's never been a season the Rays have had success either winning the division or a wild card where this many games into this season we've left this many men on base. We're leaving so many guys on base. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with you on that. All right, let's continue to read some of these comments here. So Tim was concerned by the White Sox. Were you concerned by the White Sox, or was it this week? Because I got to tell you, coming off that road trip, being 5-2, and look, they could have swept the Boston Red Sox if you win that game in extra innings by just making the play that you need to make by Rodriguez there, and they're not able to do it, so they take 3 out of 4. But they go 5-2 there. You have to feel good about it. You're coming on a homestand here against the Boston Red Sox, and you get swept. You get swept by the Boston Red Sox. I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised by it because you feel like the Rays are doing something, like they're catching some momentum. And again, I get it. It's a long season, but I definitely think there's some concern out there. Let me go out to all things football from a ladies' perspective. Hi, Peter. Great show. Sharing all things football from a ladies' perspective. We'll definitely have to have you on here. Thanks a lot for sharing. Appreciate you as always.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Mr. Ralph Williams. Hello, guys. Pirate Atlanta game just started. Absolutely. And if you hear something barking in the background, yes, that is my dog barking in the background for some reason. I have no idea why he's doing that. And grand slam time, Darren. No, not so fast, my friend. Not a grand slam. Actually, a double play. So there you go. Again, open phone lines. What's your concern level for this Tampa Bay Rays team? But tell you what, Ray, let me go out to you really quick. I got to let my dog out. I don't know what's going on with him. He's being an idiot right now. So let me go ahead and let you be on, and I will go and be back here in just a moment, okay? Stand by. Go ahead.
I'm just messing with you. No, you talk about a concern with these Rays, and I mean, I kind of said so earlier there when I made that comment. Peter was talking about as you're looking at the season, of course, going into it, you didn't realize that Randy Rosarina was going to have the lowest batting average of any everyday player in the league, and looks like Scott Boras probably wasn't great. He tells the guy, and T-Kraz talked about this, and by the way, shout out to T-Kraz, another Staten Island guy like myself, and since I'm older, I'm the first. Who'd have thought that putting that big old mug of yours on for all those reels and on some of these socials was rock solid? Because number one, it's reminding everybody that you've got solid takes, and it's also throwing them into how great that the drive is, and enjoying your shows there weekly, Monday through Friday there on 95.3 WDAE. But you looked at this season and you realized, okay, Sugar Shane's not coming back, but we're back. I'm sorry, Pete. I was just gonna keep waxing.
No. You keep on waxing poetically there. I'm definitely back here. Let's go out to Yoli. Hello to you. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Oh yeah.
Let's go out to Tim I can't say it. Ambience Peter. Yes, thank you. Easy for me to say. How to say
ambiance.
Ambiance.
Yes, ambiance.
I thought it was ambience.
Or if you're on Ambien, it might be ambiance.
I probably do need to be on Ambien after hearing my dog bark over and over again.
In fact, how'd you get him to stop barking? Did we give Alexander Ambien?
Yeah, we need to give him that. I think he's into something right now as we speak. So
I just want to say at this point, there was no animals harmed during the filming of the Sports Web. So just so Peter and everyone else, just everybody be cool. Nothing's going on over here.
I don't know who Sonia is. I don't know who that is. If somebody asks, where is Sonia? I have no idea. I think you got the wrong show.
I think what they were saying was be careful because if there's celebration, you might get some Sonia.
I don't know. All right. So update the score right now. Rays not doing anything. Once again, another thing that's really hurt this team this year. Jose Siri being thrown out at second base. Is that the other most disappointing thing is not only Siri, but also the base running woes of this team, in your opinion?
Whereas last season, with all the offensive production this team had from the get, setting records and going historical to the annals of Major League Baseball's historical books, and the fact that we're like, Kevin's pulling all the right strings and this and that. And then you wonder, Peter, with some of these running mistakes or these mistakes on the bases and stuff, early on with the catch between the right fielder and the second baseman, not to call it off. These are mistakes that a team like the Rays, because they depend on lockdown pitching and they analytically, they do mess with things here and there. You got to be playing controlled baseball. And it's not that Kevin Cash has lost his locker room. This team, they're just trying so many things, maybe getting that team ready for 2025 to finish this season strong out, throw a few no-hitters, but then as you get Rasmussen and Springs back and you figure out what's going on with Zach Eflin, but also, now you got a team ready to go next season. I don't want to say that Tampa Bay wants to see a team rebuild or reload a little bit for next season, but Tampa Bay is 2020. We've had a pretty good run. If it happens once or twice, and you're not talking about a total collapse like the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Houston Asterisks, where you're throwing the entire thing, losing 150 games to get this and that. You're just talking about a Rays team that's trying to find the leadership and get this team solid as the pitchers get healthy. As the end of the season, we still have success. It's just instead of going for a wild card or a division, maybe we're just going for a good run and maybe to spoil some parties for other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I want to go back out to these comments here. Tim says give him a treat. He did get a treat, I think, or he went into the garbage there and got into it. So I can't watch him, guys. I got to produce and host at the same time, so I can't really do anything about my dog running wild here in the apartment.
Wait. Who let the dog out?
Oh, geez. All right, so let's go out to Darren. He's safe and sound. Okay, so Darren knows. I don't. All right. Base running class, 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Yeah, that's here he is. He's coming right on camera right now. Watch this. Go ahead, Alexander. Come on camera.
Alex. Where's my boy Alex? Where's Alex? Come on, Alex. Let me get him. Let me see that beautiful snout ears.
Hold on. Let me go full screen here. Let's see. And let me go ahead and take this. You can see him right there. The TSW is holding. You see the shadow right there?
I saw it. Yeah, I see him. I see my boy.
He's looking at me like, hey, it's time for me to go out. No, it's not time to go out.
No.
It's Daddy to do a show right now. So
Peter, is Alexander, is he a Mike Tyson fan or is he a Jake Paul fan?
I believe he's a Jake Paul fan. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because Daddy has the Rolex.
Daddy got the role. And you talk about, obviously, you're going to get a chance to talk to Coach, and I'm going to go because my sound isn't perfect out here, and I'm going to figure out my problem. So I'm going to get to the side and watch this interview. I'm rocking it. But, obviously, the age difference, Jake Paul coming in at 27 years of age and Mike Tyson at 58. Although Mike Tyson, the most dangerous man on the planet for a very long time. If there's one thing I've seen that's been awesome so far, this fight, as we run up to the fight July 20th, out there at the AT&T Stadium in Texas, is it's made everybody have an opinion. Whether you're for or against, this guy's going to get killed or this guy's going to cream the other guy. Whatever it is, I have not seen this much excitement gets generated for boxing in a very long time, and that's why I've gotten a little excited. And then because it is Mike Tyson, how many Mike Tyson fights did we all grow up on? And those of you out there that don't know the whole Mike Tyson mystique, do it, research it, get ready, because when you watch this fight on July 20th on Netflix there between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, you need to know the historical significance, not just on the Mike Tyson side, but also on the Jake Paul side and what he's doing for the sport. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, just stand by because he's not in here yet, so I definitely want to continue to talk about the Rays. I'm surprised that there's not more fans calling and talking, wanting to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays. Do you want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You definitely can. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Excuse me. Let's go out to Odette here. In my opinion, unhappy boys. Yeah, very unhappy. I don't know what it is. Is it Randy Arozarena? I don't even believe he's in the lineup today. I mean, he's been disappointing. Of course, Yandy was disappointing there for a little bit, but he's picked it up. The most consistent player on this team has been, and it has to be, Isaac Paredes. That's been the most consistent offensive weapon. Everybody else, it's just tough right now. And I think you're also getting to that point with Brandon Lowe. I love the guy. I know what he did a couple years ago with being a big stick in this lineup, but I kind of wonder how long the Rays decide to keep him around. Do they trade him? Do they make some other moves? Do you go with Junior Caminero at second base? The talk is that they're going to put Caminero at second base to kind of take his position possibly. So what do you think about Lowe at this point, Tampa Bay Ray?
The injuries. It's just because as this team's trying to find the consistency in the lineup, I like this kid. I always thought it was a good signing. They locked up a little homegrown early on. The big controversy was, what has he done for me lately? People talked about the Rays and how much of a mistake. I don't know if it was Evan, but we were talking about how much of a mistake it was locking down, Wander Franco for 110 years on a long-term contract. Different thing altogether. But this Rays team, when they see that talent, they lock it down. He's got that talent, but it's the injuries, Peter. And as this team tries to search for a consistency to get that, find that rhythm to go. If you're going to be injured often not, then yeah, they have to start making a decision because that's just not going to work with this team as it runs today.
I want to go out to this right here. Here's a good comment. Very territorial about who catches a ball on someone's turf. Bickering. I mean, do you see that? Do you see bickering? Do you see the chemistry not there? Because this Rays team, they usually have, a pretty good chemistry in that with that ball club and then that clubhouse. And I don't know. It's not there. It just doesn't seem like it's there this year. And whether it's the pitching injuries, whether it's guys underachieving. Yeah, I always go out to this, and maybe this is a crutch on my part. But I talk to fans all the time. I feel like if the Rays would have spent, more money, they would have more resources. Now that's kind of coming up, and it's not all working out like it usually does with this Rays team when it comes to being able to overcome a low salary cap. And $90 million is still pretty low in baseball standards.
I can hear that Sternberg comment from before the season. We've almost spent almost $100 million, and I'm scared about this. This makes me uneasy, and yeah, that's still around. But I'll tell you what, though.
Up the Swallow. What is it? Tell me, what is it like down there? Because it kind of reminds me of the old days, and I feel like we got to get down there to downtown St. Pete sometime to do some shows, maybe at Ferg's or on the sidewalk. Because I was thinking about it last night. I'm doing my third or fourth job, Uber. And I'm traveling around. I have some customers there that are, kind of tipsy, and we're getting them down there. Some young ladies down in downtown St. Pete, and I'm thinking, they're like, you ever been here before? I'm like, I used to do shows down here all the time, every Saturday afternoon. I mean, you remember that, right?
Bro, best day. I got and if Coach Larry gets in here, trainer Larry gets in here, just knock me off. Larry Wade, Jake Paul's trainer and coach, and again, looking forward to this conversation in a few minutes. But brother, the best day we ever had. You, me, Blake Anthony. I tell this story all the time. We're up there. We do the Clearwater Tornadoes. Of course, Stevie Thomas, Arena League Hall of Famer, Tampa Bay Storm icon, and he's starting up the arena team, which they're still trying to do it on some capacity. Hope the best of luck for that organization. And we get there, and they're like, you guys got it. We run the entire press conference, set our mics up. We do all the lighting. We put these young kids up there, the cheerleaders, the players, you remember. And we get that done. We locked it in, had a great day, and wish them the best of luck. We get hauling on the interstate way down here, barely get to Ferguson time. It's Pride weekend, and it's Saturday. The entire crowd's going up and down. And whether you knew sports, liked sports, hated sports, you stopped and talked with us, had the best day. And that's the kind of stuff that we've done down here in St. Pete. So, yeah, we've been down here once or twice.
Absolutely. All right. So we got Mr. Coach Larry Wade here in the back room. So we'll go ahead. We'll put you in the back room. We'll come back out to you after we're done with this great interview here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, my friend?
Definitely, brother. I'm right here.
All right. Stand by. Let's go out to our guest here. I met this man in December during the Jake Paul fight, a couple of days before Christmas there, where Jake Paul had a first-round knockout of Augustine there in Orlando. Got a chance to talk to him. It was great to meet him and kind of conversate. Coach Larry Wade here. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Of course, training right now, Jake Paul, as everybody's getting ready for Paul versus Tyson on July 20th on Netflix. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. It's definitely been a journey. I definitely value the interview that you give me from I guess it was 2 fights ago, and I just had to follow up with you and make sure I got this interview in. Thank you for your time.
No, absolutely, and always welcome here to promote. If people don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself, because I think the accomplishments are just amazing at this point. Winning 14 world titles. You used to run track and field. You're in the Texas A&M Hall of Fame. Man, you're not just some coach here, my friend. You're definitely an athlete. You're a superstar here on the Evolution.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, go ahead and promote yourself here.
You know what I like to do is I really do like my results to speak for myself, for itself. But at the end of the day, I know there's people out there that probably don't know me. Yes, I am a former Texas A&M track and field athlete, former professional track and field athlete, Hall of Famer. 2-time national champion, multiple conference champion, ranked top 3 in the world most of my career, from Pan Am Games, World Championships, and things of that nature, and turned into be an Olympic alternate. Also had opportunity to start coaching in the sport as well, where I went ahead and coached people to become world champions in the sport, world record holders in the sport, and also I think it's eight Olympians in the sport of track and field, and now also Olympians in bobsled as well. Turned myself to multiple different sports at first, from NFL to some NBA, then moved on to professional boxing, where I felt like I had my biggest niche, which I love the most, and found myself as a strength conditioning coach to some of the top boxers in the world, from Sean Porter, Badu Jad, Caleb Plant, Luis Ortiz, Rolando Romero, Robeisio Ramirez, and the list just continues to go on and on. But I definitely did it with a lot of different guys. And for guys that hear this, I'm sorry if I missed you. I don't have that much time to label everyone. But did it for a while, and now I'm in with Jake Paul, who I've been with now, going on my 4th fight, and over a year now, getting ready for Mike Tyson.
What is that? I want to start off there, because I want to get into the Tyson Fury Usyk fight, but I want to start right there with that. I mean, what has that experience been like so far with the Paul and Paul camp?
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful, because the first thing that a coach concerns himself with is the focus, mental focus, and purpose of the fighter. Every fighter is in it for a different reason. And when I got a chance to meet Jake hand in hand, first time ever, one of the first things he said to me was he wanted to be a world champion, which made it exciting for me, because, that's really what I'm about. I'm about winning championships and building champions. And that was one of the first things. One of the second things was he was like, "Don't take it easy on me," which he never has to worry about because not only am I trying to make him great at what he's doing, but at the same time, I have a reputation as well, and I don't want to ruin the opportunity that I have in order to bring to the sport what I want to bring to the sport and continue to provide for my family the way I do. And the last thing that Jay said to me was to never lie to him, and because he always wants to know the truth. If he's ready, tell him he's ready. If he's not ready, tell him he's not. And that also isn't a problem because I don't want to put him out there if I don't feel like he's ready. And with me having a strong team that's lead trainer third, Theodore Chambers, and Jalen Love, no, we're doing our best to bring our professionalism to the sport and give him everything he needs for these fights.
Now, also, you've been an analyst for the Zone there. What did you think? What were your thoughts on the Tyson Fury Usyk fight? I was surprised by it. I thought Fury was going to win. We hear about how Fury's not necessarily, in shape, and now he gets in shape, and you feel like, okay, this is his fight to win or his fight to lose. And then he hits the ninth round there, and it seemed like it didn't seem like it was all Usyk at that point. What did you think? Your overall thoughts of that fight last weekend?
I thought the fight was absolutely amazing. I mean, I love the fight. I felt like they put on a wonderful show. I don't feel like either one of those fighters have a reason to hold their head down. I think they went out there like professionals and not only fought against some really high level fighting skill set wise, but they also entertained us in the same time. And I enjoyed the fight from the beginning to the end. Whenever you get a good fight, you find yourself on this surfboard or left and right. And I found myself on the edge of my seat, swaying left and right to see how the fight was going to turn out. I actually thought Usyk would win. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but he did win it. But the thing is, that fight could have gone either way because Tyson was looking amazing too. And I think we'll see the same thing in fight 2 as well.
Do you think, and going back to it because we talk about shape, is it you've been able to coach track and field, run track and field? Do you think it's Fury's endurance? Or do you think that's one of the things that he has to work on? So, like, if he hired a coach like you, would that be something that you'll kind of try to do with him to improve his endurance? Because it seemed like the later on he got in that fight, it seemed like the endurance wasn't there. Is that a correct assumption on my part?
I don't think that's a correct assumption. I feel like Tyson was in decent shape. Same with Usyk, but what people don't realize, it doesn't matter what kind of fitness you're in once you get hit.
Right.
Once you start to get touched, once people start to hit you to the body, once they start to hit you in the head, the shoulder, whatever, your gas tank starts to go down. So I personally worked with Tyson before in a Badu Jack camp where we've done some running before, and he's definitely genetically put together differently because he has this big endomorph frame, and technically he's not supposed to have a high aerobic fitness. But he's gone up in the mountains with us and beat some of those young guys running 5-6 miles over 8,000 feet. And he's over 260 pounds. So I don't feel like his fitness was an issue. I just felt like slowly but surely they started punching holes in each other's gas tanks and you start to see them slow down. But I feel like that would happen to any fighter. I felt like they both did a great job.
You think they got the decision right on that? Because I thought it was going to be a split decision. I actually was expecting a draw because it was such a great fight, like you talked about, and it was very entertaining. And it went in Usyk's favor. But do you think they got it right? And are you looking forward to that rematch? Because there's got to definitely be a rematch between both of those fighters eventually.
I feel like they got it right. It's really, really close. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't be upset the other way around either.
Okay.
If they went the other way, because I can see perception for both. And when you're looking at a situation where the judge is based on their perception and not a point system, then you kind of have to see it differently. And from their perspective, they saw Usyk winning, and I saw it being a draw or Usyk as well. Because the reason I think they may have been leaning toward Usyk because he had the more devastating hits, the most impact, and that became, in my opinion, the telling part of the story. But I'm excited for the next fight. I think the next fight is going to be super amazing as well, man. And I can promise you I'm going to tune in for sure.
All right. So we're on with Coach Larry Wade here of training Jake Paul here, getting Paul ready for Mike Tyson. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. I asked you this question. I was surprised by it. What's the most dangerous version of Jake Paul? And what did you say to me in Orlando in December?
What I said then was the most dangerous, I guess, person that Jake Paul is after the person he is after each fight. You're talking about a guy who didn't have an amateur career. You're talking about a guy who's learning on the job, who technically goes into every fight, being if it's a 10th fight, it's a 10th fight ever, and getting better and better. And like anything else, experience is what brings you to the table to be great. And he's getting more and more experience every single fight. And on top of that, he has people around him in third, Theodore Chambers being a lead trainer, and Jillian Love and myself and I, we're bringing true professionalism to the table and years of experience to help him surpass some of that learning curve that he's going through. And if you notice, each and every fight for the last year, he's gotten better and better. And we don't expect for it to be any different. We want to continue to work hard. We're not taking anything for granted, but you can guarantee every fight, you're going to see a better version of who he is.
What do you think has gotten better with him? Punching power has always been there. Is it the footwork? Is it the technique? What has gotten better with Paul, in your opinion, Coach?
All the above. All the above. Coach Theodore Chambers came in and he started working on some footwork stuff with Jake from the beginning. Even before he started really letting him throw punches, it was all about footwork, learning how to move, learning how to position himself, knowing where to sit. And then it turned into him and Jillian Love really working on positioning, understanding IQ in the ring, what punches go where, how the punches should be selected. And also being able to understand that even though he has punching power, his athleticism and his genetics is superior to a lot of guys. I've had a lot of guys win world titles. And at that level, at cruiserweight, Badu Jack, and lightweight, Badu Jack. And when you're in that space and you've seen guys' athleticism, Jake isn't like everyone else. He's different. He has a little bit more athleticism than a lot of those guys that are out there. And so what he's trying to do is get his athleticism and his drive and heart to match his IQ and his understanding of boxing. And that's why you got the trainers that are in place with Jillian Love and Theodore Chambers. That's why they're in there to kind of help surpass that curve so he can be ready for these fights.
Love it. Good stuff there. And always, I even told you, like, expound on it a little bit, because people just keep on saying, well, he's knocked that guy out in the first round. But why has he knocked the guy out in the first round? Because he's improved his overall game. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, you got to say, for a guy that was on YouTube, that a lot of people said, you know what, he's not going to do much, he's a joke and all this other stuff, and he's really become a great boxer here the last couple of years, right?
Right. He's improved, and he's improved over time. I known of his career for a long time, but what really got my attention with him first, that really made me pay close attention, was the fact that he was in the boxing game fighting some top MMA guys, and they were trying to discredit him because he's, beating these MMA guys and UFC guys, but no one talked about the fact that he had no boxing experience. No one mentioned that, but he's still knocking these guys out and knocking these guys down. This is a guy who has no boxing experience. So at least these other guys had elite combat sport experience, but no one was looking at that. But then the thing that got my attention was when I heard Jake gave up $1 million of his purse to pay the people on his undercard. And that really impressed me, because even to this day, I don't know one other fighter that has given up $1 million of their money to be able to pay the people that are on their card so they can have more money. That to me made me look at him differently,
Yeah, well, I think he also gets a bad rap because he's bringing attention to the boxing world, and then on top of it, he's getting fighters paid, especially Amanda Serrano, who has definitely been helped out by the MVP, most valuable promotions, I believe it is, and then Jake Paul camp. So it's amazing stuff that he's doing, and it's getting overshadowed because they have so many people out there have hatred. Well, he's not a real boxer. Well, the guy's giving it a shot. He's putting everything in that. What do you take from the last fight from Ryan Borland?
You know what? I feel like Jake put in a lot of time and effort, and he got to the point where, we're trying to find good fights for the fans, right? And finding guys who people say, oh, you need to fight a real boxer. Well, he brought in another real boxer who was also a Golden Glove champion as well. The last two guys were Golden Glove champions. And what people don't realize, a lot of our superstars who we love today weren't fighting Golden Glove champions in their first 10 to 15 fights.
No.
And he has done that in front of millions of people. Most of the guys that we know, they're fighting these guys who may not be at that level, aren't at that level, and they're not on TV. They're not in front of millions of people. They might not even get to be on streamed. So he's doing it in front of people. He's growing up in front of people. And what he did this fight was he took it upon himself. And I remember in the back, he said, all right, cool. I'm going to put everything on my shoulders and I'm going to go out here and get this guy out of here. And he went and did just that. I thought it would go 2 rounds or more. I think he thought that as well, but he ended up, just really hitting him with some solid punches. And if you look at his game, his athleticism in that ring on top of the things he's been learning, it's really what's making the difference. He's so much faster than these guys, so much more explosive than these guys. And now that he understands what he's doing and why he's doing it, it makes him even more dangerous.
I love it. Good stuff there. All right. So when that fight got made between Paul and Tyson, of course, it's on Netflix on July 20th. What were your first thoughts? Because I know I'm thinking right now, being 45 years old, I grew up watching Mike Tyson, and I know what he did to opponents. And then I'm thinking, look at this guy, Jake Paul. Nobody expects it, but he's destroying guys in the first round, knocking them out with his power. So it's kind of like a dream fight that you never would have expected to happen. Is that your same kind of thought process when you heard about Paul fighting Tyson on Netflix?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm super excited for the fact that Jake gets an opportunity now to show the world what he can really do. We're in a space where no matter how well Jake does, he gets criticized, he gets ridiculed. And now here we are looking at a legend in the sport, someone who we've all looked up to, and we get to show the world that he is who we say he is in the direction of trying to pursue becoming a world champion. Now, is this one of those PlayStation game opportunities? Absolutely, to be able to, line up across from Mike and say, okay, I'm a coach against this guy. I'm a coach against a legend. And I'm sure the other trainers feel the same way. But honestly, how I look at Mike at this point is you're another guy in front of me. I want to do the same things we've been doing. This is not any different for me. I respect him, but my job is to help Jake get him out of here, and that's the key. That's what I'm really focused on. It's not an insult or disrespect to him. I just know what we're here to do. So even though I respect him, I know I got a job to do, and that's to get Jake as prepared as I can get him so we can get the job done properly.
From what you've seen of him, he's 58 years old. I believe last time he fought, he lost in 2005 or 2006. Do you think he's in shape enough? I mean, still, listen, I get it. It's Mike Tyson, but he's 58 years old. It's not the same Mike Tyson. So that should be an advantage to Jake Paul, right? In your opinion?
No, I mean, Mike is Mike. Mike is Mike. No one, you'll never hear me try to belittle Mike, because Mike is still a legend for a reason. Yeah. There's a reason why people are still afraid to get in the ring with this man. Even if he was 65, it's still gonna be a regular person not gonna get in the ring with Mike, because he's gonna knock him out. Mike is vicious. If you notice when you see him in these videos, he's explosive still. He's still fast. He's hitting hard. So no, we definitely don't feel like the advantage is to Jake. We feel like it's a fight where anything can happen, but we're preparing for the best version of Mike. So we're gonna definitely have the best version of Jake so we can get the job done.
Now, you told me the best version of Jake is after the fight. How do you prepare Jake Paul to fight Mike Tyson on July 20th? What do you do? Kind of expound on this. What are you guys going through? Kind of just tell people out there how you get a Jake Paul ready, because all the boxing fans are watching Mike Tyson and his training videos, and they're saying, this guy's going to kill Jake Paul. And I want to know what you're doing with Jake Paul for Jake Paul to kill Mike Tyson on July 20th.
Well, I look at it like this. I can't give it all to you, but I will say this. You have to be able to build on the fighter based on where he's at, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't go into a situation saying a guy has went from grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then decide you're going to go from the 7th grade to the 12th grade. What you want to be able to do is to keep developing up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 as far as you can go, right? So the focus has been doing the things that we know Jake Paul can do and developing him from where he's at right now, because the one thing we know for sure, at the end of the day, Jake got power, Jake is not afraid, and he got mad heart. And a lot of times that's hard to deal with no matter how you look at it. And then you got him now getting IQ and teaching for him, the guys like Jalen Love and Theodore Chambers, just a different situation now. So no, we gonna train him accordingly. But as far as what we actually doing in the corner or in the ring or in camp, nah, I can't give that to you. You just have to wait until July 20th. That's it.
Hey, listen, that's why I'm the Rolex reporter. You know my story. I got a Rolex from Jake Paul for asking pertinent questions. So
Yes.
I'm going to dig a little bit.
Yes.
Can we put this to bed here? It's going to be a real boxing match. It's not some wrestling. It's not some joke of it may be an exhibition, but it's a real boxing match, correct?
Correct. Let me help the fans understand something.
Sure.
No matter what we do, we have to, no matter how many fights you see on TV, they have to be okayed and accepted by the commission. So we can say we can do anything we want to do. If the commission doesn't okay it, then it doesn't give us opportunity for it to happen. Once the commission okayed it for it to be a fight that had a quote unquote as an exhibition, Mike or Jake didn't say they wanted to be exhibition. They were trying to, protect, the situation. Anything happens, then whose shoulder does it fall on? Theirs. But then Mike said he wanted it to be a real fight. They were able to make it a real fight. And so now that's where it's at. No one went in there and said they didn't want it to be real one, but now they are. And so the fans are going to get what they want. Now it's on the record. So Mike loses. He gets another notch beside his name. And Jake gets another notch in winning on his. So it's a real fight. So for everyone who thought it was something different, no, those guys are going to be trying to knock each other out in there.
All right. If Paul wins this boxing match on July 20th, does it silence the critics? Do critics finally say, you know what, we're going to give him his flowers, if you will, as the kids would say. We're going to give him all his flowers. He deserves the credit. All the critics are going to be silenced at that point, or are they going to continue to be critics out there for Paul because of what he does, in the ring, but outside of the ring with YouTube being a social media superstar? Are there always going to be those critics in your opinion? And in your opinion, if he does knock out Tyson, should the critics shut up about Jake Paul?
Well, that's like a 3-layered question. So I'm going to try my best to answer that question correctly. The reality of it is Jake is an icon / image in the sport of boxing. Now, when I say icon, I'm talking about he's definitely shown himself to be a big time YouTube social media guy. Now he's transitioning over to being a big time star in the sport of boxing. So no matter what Jake does at this point, since he didn't originate in the sport of boxing, he's going to get criticized and ridiculed regardless, because he didn't do it the way everybody else felt like it should have been done. But like Floyd Mayweather has said a number of times over and over again, he said they're going to be people who criticize me, but he said people are going to watch me to see me win, or they're going to watch me to see me lose. Either way, they're going to watch me, because he understands people didn't want to see him win as well. So I feel like we understand that no matter when you're on top, no matter who you are or what you do, you're going to always be critics. They're going to always be people who have something to say. You just spend your life making sure you prove them wrong, which is what we've been doing since we got started at this thing. As far as him knocking Mike out and the critics being hushed, they're never going to go anywhere. They're never going to go anywhere. They're never going to go anywhere. He goes in there, he knocks him out. They're like, oh, he beat up the old guy. Yeah, but still Mike Tyson. But if he was to lose, which he won't, they'll be like, oh, the old guy beat you. Get out the sport. So it's always going to be something that they have to say. So in my opinion, if we're going to get ridiculed and criticized regardless, we might as well get Mike out of here. That's the way I see it.
Well,
and last piece of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
If boxing fans, or should I say boxers, were smart, and I think there are a lot of smart ones out there, you would look at some of the things Jake has done as far as marketing is concerned, as far as creating his own social media transferable value, transferring that over to boxing and being able to utilize that and being seen more widely. If we can do that, if they can do that, they'll see their value is a lot more than just being looked at as just boxers. You're a lot more than that. And I feel like the way he's marketed, the way he's brought things to the table has not only expanded it for himself, but he's expanded it for every other boxer in boxing in general. So he definitely has given us some tools to use, and I think if we're smart, we'll utilize those.
Love it. Good stuff on with Coach Larry Wade training right now. Jake Paul getting him ready for, of course, Mike Tyson on July 20th. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web, a special edition, a Saturday afternoon edition here with the coach. And again, always welcome. Go ahead and promote some of the things that you're doing right now for yourself, and then we'll get back in some more questions here because I got a couple more, and then we'll get you out of here. But what else are you doing, my friend?
Well, there's a lot of things on the table right now. Some of the things I can speak about, some of the things I can't. But one of the things that's on the table that I'm really pushing is I just created a new sauna suit for all individuals, not just boxers, but people who feel like they want to cut some weight and utilize a sauna suit for that. So we got premier sauna suits, which gets dropped here soon. And we'll be having those available to all those who are just wanting to get a little weight off or sweat a little bit more. And so that's going to be the next big push that I'm have coming forward, just to kind of impact it in a different way. A lot of people have criticized different things. And I said before, I criticize any of the suits that are out there currently. Why not just create one for myself? Create one that I feel like is helpful and that can help other people get where they want to be and be comfortable and still look cool. And that's where we're at right now. So you'll be here seeing that in the next 30 days.
Love it. Good stuff there. Has Paul put on weight? And how much weight has he put on?
He said it again.
How much has Jake Paul put on weight at this point? Put on muscle, put on weight, in your opinion?
Our scale is broken.
Very good. Very good answer there. You train a lot of boxers.
But really, our scale is broken, though.
Broken. Well, yeah, sure.
That's the truth. Our scale has been broken.
Oh.
And we kind of know where it's at the same time, you know. We're not putting a lot of emphasis into it, to be honest with you. We know he's a heavyweight at this point, but more importantly, we care more about how he's carrying the weight, how he's moving the weight, the timing and the rhythm of the weight, and ground awareness of the weight. And right now, he's doing an amazing job of moving it, conditioning it, sparring. So we're not really, really stressed on it. We're really happy with what we're seeing so far.
Good stuff. All right, now you train lots of boxers. Any comparisons? I know Jake is, in a league by himself. He's a totally, different person. But any boxers? Are you reminded of any boxers that you ever trained? Kind of remind you of Jake Paul from the past.
I really wish I had a direct comparison to someone that I've trained in the past. I've thought about this many, many nights, and I just don't, man. I've trained some really great guys that have a lot of talent, and I don't have one that comparison to him, to be honest with you. That he's very different in every way. He works his ass off. By far has shown me that he's willing to work harder than anyone else I've ever worked with before. Before that, it was Sean, and then after Sean, it was Caleb Plant, and now it's Jake. Jake has taken over that mantle and has decided that he's going to work harder than anyone, and he's showing me that every single day. So you can guarantee with that type of mentality and that type of integrity every day, it's going to be a long night or a short night for someone, fight night, no matter who's in front of them.
Who's your favorite fighter that you trained from the past? Because there's a local guy here. I couldn't believe this. I looked it up. Keith One-Time Thurman, who's out of Clearwater, Florida. He had some success there for a little bit. So was he one of your favorite fighters? Who was one of your favorite fighters to train from the past there, Coach?
I didn't train Keith, but I did train a guy who fought Keith, who is my favorite fighter, by the way, who's getting inducted into the Nevada Las Vegas Hall of Fame, and that's Sean Porter.
Oh, see, I thought it was Keith. My bad.
Yeah, Sean Porter is actually my favorite in regards to that, because it's nothing like the first guy you ever got a world title with.
Right.
You get your very first world title. It's a feeling that you can never really explain, but you want it as often as you can get it. And so now 14 world titles later, I'm still pursuing the greatness in that. I'm still looking for another one. And you can guarantee, though, but that first one is different. And to be able to start my journey with Sean and Kenny Porter, that really was the one that I would say stands out the most for me. Those guys gave me an opportunity. I went 2 years of just going to the gym basically for free, trying to figure it out, make sure I got all my things in order. And now here we are, 10 years later with 14 world titles.
Yeah, and see, I thought I saw, because I was looking you up, and it was Sean Porter fighting Keith Thurman, and of course, beating him. So,
The guy that Florida
yeah.
that I worked with is Luis Ortiz.
Okay.
Yeah, Luis Ortiz. Well, he's not from Florida. He lives in Florida. He's in Miami, but he's Cuban. And the other Cuban I trained with Robesi Ramirez, who was the 2016, 2012 Olympic gold medalist who beat Shakur Stevenson. But he was also the world champion at 126 WBO world champion just a year ago with me. So he's that's the only true connection I got to it.
Okay. All right. So we see it is a small world here, Coach. I want to ask you this finally to wrap it up. Once again, we appreciate the time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. And after the fight, if you like to come on and you like to talk about,
sure, absolutely. Listen,
yes,
if you want me, I'll definitely get on. I love the energy. I love the questions. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Last question. You're in the Texas A&M Hall of Fame. Congratulations with that. But there is a local connection here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think soon to be first ballot Hall of Famer Mike Evans with his 10 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Talk about Mike Evans. He could eclipse or actually could tie Jerry Rice this year with 11 and then eclipse him in a couple years. And to me, he's already a Hall of Famer, but that definitely would make him a Hall of Famer. Talk about Mr. Mike Evans and not only what he's meant to Texas A&M, because I know you know of him, but also you think of his impact in the National Football League.
Well, there's layers to this thing, right? Because when Mike was at A&M, he was able to, in my opinion, continue to build the legacy of what A&M really stood for. There was a period of time where it went down. The Wrecking Crew was from the 90s and the early 2000s. They were killing it, and then we kind of fell off, and we started building it back up. And then when Mike Evans came through, he was one of those guys that you could already tell he was a standout athlete then, worked his ass off, and then he got built, taking to Tampa Bay. Now, here's the thing for me in Tampa Bay. Around this time, I want to say in 20, what year? Let me get it straight. 2010? I don't know if it was 10.
10 or 11, I think you're talking about Brian Price, who used to be defensive tackle.
Brian Price.
Yeah, I think it's 11 or 10.
Also got drafted to, Tampa Bay, and he went there for you. But here's what's so crazy about it. He went to Tampa Bay. He left Tampa Bay. And then this year, my little girl, Candace Davis Price, who got a silver medal with me at the World Championships, and she's actually was one of the female coaches for the rookie camp for Tampa Bay this year. So it's such a small world, and that circle goes around. But Mike is also doing so great. And man, listen, congratulations to you. Keep doing your thing out there. From one Aggie to another, I'm proud of you, brother. Keep doing your thing.
Love it. Good stuff. I know you watch Mike on film. Do you think you could improve his speed a little bit? He's getting up there in age. Do you think you could?
Absolutely. Give me a Mike. Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. Last question, I promise, and then we'll get you out of here. Once again, appreciate the time. Any chance you're going to train some more NFL athletes? Because I know you have some on your list there. Could you get into that? Could you be interested in that? Do you ever see a player? Yeah.
I first moved to Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was training NFL guys, and I was having people come in to train like 6, 7 every year, working with them. And that was great. It was wonderful. But what I ran into was there was a conflict between the NFL and professional boxing. See, NFL is seasonal. Professional boxing is year-round. And so when my NFL guys would come in, they want your time. They don't have a lot of time available. They want your time, and they want you to give them their time. And when you got 5, 6 guys going, most of the time they don't want to train together. They want to train separate, which means you got to put all those guys in their own window of time. Well, at the same time, I already had all these world champions that I was training in boxing, and I couldn't just give up my time with them, even though, these guys were in their season. So I actually walked away from it just because I didn't have the time to give them, because I was committed so much to the world of boxing. So if that was to ever roll around and say possibly fit, maybe. But right now, to be honest with you, I'm all combat sports. I'm all boxing. I'm 100% into it. So I'm not going to say no, because anything's possible. But right now, that's what I'm committed to, combat sports and boxing.
All right, good stuff there. And of course, WWE today own Logan Paul, the brother of Jake. Good match versus Cody. I knew Cody was going to win that, but talk about Logan really quick, and then we'll get you out of here. What do you think about his success? It's been pretty amazing with him going also into boxing and now professional wrestling, and not only going into professional wrestling, but killing it.
Right. Well, you know what? Logan deserves all that he's getting, because one thing that I've learned about Logan since I've been in Puerto Rico is he works his ass off. He's very dedicated. He's very passionate. And that is going to take you a long way. When you're in a sport where there's no true quote unquote defined structure in what he's doing, and this young man comes to the gym every day, works out every day, kicks butt every day, doesn't complain, and even jumps into workouts with Jake when he don't have to, running really long, hard. And so he deserves everything he's getting, because he's definitely putting in the work behind the scenes, not just for social media, not just for TV. He really does work hard outside of that, and he puts in the work. So I have nothing but respect for him and everything he's doing. And only someone who sees it firsthand can really understand in reference to what I'm speaking of, because he definitely deserves everything he's getting.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Once again, go ahead and promote what you're doing right now here on the Sports Web, please.
The number one thing is this: July 20th, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. If you have not got your tickets, I'm going to say it again. If you have not got your tickets, you're going to miss the sporting event of the century. Everything that you wanted to see in a boxing match, you're going to see then. You're going to see power, speed, explosion. You're going to see shit talking. You're going to see a lot of people having fun. You don't want to miss this. So get your Netflix, get your subscription if you don't have it. Get your ticket for the fight if you don't have it. Hopefully come to the fight and see it at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I will be there. So please get that. You don't want to miss this event. That's the number one thing I got going on right now, and that's my main priority.
Love it, Coach. Thanks a lot for the time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll see you soon. And who knows, maybe the Rolex reporter will come out there once again, throw out a show there. And
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. You definitely got an interview coming from me.
All right. Sounds good, Coach. Appreciate you. All right. Good stuff there, right there from Coach Larry Wade here on the Sports Web. I mean, what other sports talk show are you going to get that? He's talking about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix on July 20th. What other sports talk show? Anybody? They got the trainer there. He's telling you all about what's going on with Jake Paul. He's telling you what he's training him on to a certain degree. Tried to dig a little bit. I want to go back out to my colleague here, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, as I'm trying to dig in, and he's like, I'm not going to give it all away. I love it.
I love it. And, talking about while you were doing that interview, not to totally sweep off it too fast, I got a few points to make with you. I'm sitting here, and of course, the big Jumbotron out here in Ferg's backyard has the Rays game on, and everyone's up front there listening. And all of a sudden, from inside the stadium, I heard the home run horn. I'm like, oh, that, and this TV's about 30 seconds behind. Jonathan Aranda had his first home run of the season. Of course, he had that injury earlier in camp, and he wasn't going to be there, and he's working his way back into this team. So like you and I were talking about just before you brought Coach Larry Wade, the trainer there, on, this Rays team is a team in search for the answers, but it's at least what the positive thing is, they're a team that hasn't stopped trying to find it.
Well, that's it, and they did put some runs on the board. I was trying to...
Guess who the second run was, brother?
Who was it?
Itzhak Paredes had a triple, and then he ended up working home. So now you got a game going. So regardless of how this game ends, and again, 31-19, this Royals team is red hot. But I think you're going to see a team, guys and girls, maybe they're not at the top. And we make jokes about the wild card flags out there, but every one of them, we remember the season and they've earned them. But don't forget, it's not just a marathon and it's a sprint, but even if the World Series might seem bleak and all along, day to day, you're talking about missing performances of these young players who may someday be superstars for your Rays. So don't get lost in the minutia. Remember, it's not just about the destination, but the journey can be just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, let's go back out to the comments there. Good comment, Odette. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Tyson is going to blast Jake Paul to the moon. That's what Ralph says. Logan Paul blew it today. Shooter and Stash, awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. And let's go out to Ralph. Is this fight with Tyson and Paul a joke or a real fight? And I had to ask the question because, and to tell you the truth, like we talked before, I like to do organic questions. I didn't put that on the sheet. I didn't tell him I was going to ask that, but I wanted to get that question out there because that has been the main emphasis, if you will, of, well, it could be a tag team battle or a wrestling match. And clearly the coach said, this is a real fight. We get what we can do with being sanctioned. We can only do what we can do, but they have to sanction it. It's going to be a real boxing match at the end of the day.
And don't forget, going back historically, there's always the number one contender. We get that, the scoring system, but more times than not, it wasn't the number one contender. It was the hot flash in the pan, somebody who earned a respect. Maybe it was the card that would carry the biggest purse, and it wasn't always. It's not sounding out like the NFL doing their schedule in 2024, which don't even get me started on that. The truth of the matter is, just the generated interest in this fight. Mike Tyson, the 57-year-old Mike Tyson versus the 27-year-old Jake Paul. Jake Paul's learning how to fight the hard way. He loved it. He came late. Mike Tyson came at the age of 15 with Gus D'Amato, and he made history. But at the end of the day, the excitement is there. So it's a boxing match, whether you like to agree or not, whether one was the number one contender in the world or not. This is still going to be a great fight.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it, what we just discussed with Coach Larry Wade on the Tyson-Paul fight, feel free. Phone lines are open. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Also, question for the day. Where is your panic level when it comes to the Tampa Bay race from 1 to 10? Feel free to get on the lines on that. And then also in Bucs news this week, Tristan Wirfs. How concerned are you about him skipping OTAs? I think we kind of talked about this, but how concerned are you? Because I want to go back to you, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, about the Wirfs news coming out this week. Because I was just laughing, and I was looking at social media like, well, they should have had this deal done, and it looks bad on Wait a minute. Jason Light's been kind of busy. He got Baker Mayfield re-signed. He got Mike Evans re-signed. You get Jordan Whitehead on a new contract. You get a new contract for Antoine Winfield Jr. He's been kind of busy here. It's not like, he's been resting on his laurels, if you will. So, and again, everything comes in, in order. Those guys had to get done first over a Tristan Wirfs, right?
Well, and Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. Tristan Wirfs wasn't even on that original list of players that you asked him about at the presser over there about whether. No.
Oh no,
he wasn't even on that list, right? To jump in the pool.
Oh no, he was on the list.
Okay, so he was on the list.
Yeah,
so
correct me on it. Yeah.
If he was on the list, again, I go back to that question you asked him over at One Bug Place, the Advent Health Training Facility. But let's kid ourselves, it's One Bug Place. You asked him at that presser if he got all these pick signs, would it be cause for a boat parade? And what did Jason Light say?
He said, I think what I said was we got to re-sign not only Baker, Mike, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Tristan Wirfs, and then that's when they would have the boat parade. Of course, your buddy there, Chase McLaughlin, they re-signed him, but he was definitely in that conversation. But then he also said, but I'll be on a boat on Friday. So right then, when he said, I'll be on a boat on Friday, I knew that deal was going to get done. And I guarantee you, when that deal does get done with Tristan Wirfs, I'm going to play the hell out of that question until it gets old for you guys. Seriously. I can't hear you, Ray. You're muted.
That's why I set you up with that question. But I'll tell you what, Jason Light, get Antoine done. And Peter, you and I both know that deal's going to get done. When it does get done, Jason Light, come across the bridge, meet Peter Blake and myself over here at the Cross Bayou Canal, and we'll put you on a pallet. I will personally row you through the canal, and we'll catch a couple of crabs. You can take them home to Tampa for that beautiful family of yours, eat the crabs, and then jump in the pool with a nice cannonball. Because, yeah, everything's going to Bucs way. Tristan Wirfs doesn't worry me, but what worries me is that we're the kind of team now with the kind of superstars that Jason Light's been drafting now, going into his 11th year as the general manager, that we have to take care of him early, not only out of respect, but it's going to be cheaper this year than next. But we also have to keep careful of setting that precedent, because at some point you're going to start having players, you're going to have a Bucky that wants that contract early, and we don't want to just have a precedent of always negotiating early. At the end of the day, it's a business. You do your business, guys, and you'll get that bag.
You're absolutely correct about that. And you already got the Winfield Jr. Deal done. Now we got to get Tristan Wirfs done, as Alexander agrees there in the background as he's barking continuously today for some reason. I have no idea why he's doing that. Again, open phone lines if you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Update the game right now. Top of the 7th. 2-2 Royals and Rays, base hit off of Garrett Clevenger there. So now the Royals got something working. And I go back to this Royals team, and I know comparisons once again are asinine. But if you look at it, you look at their record last year, you look at their record this year, it kind of reminds me of a old former team. I don't know if they're going to reach the World Series, kind of like the 2008 Rays. They come out of nowhere. They got young talent. Do you think there's a possibility of what we're watching right now with this Royals team as they're the new version, if you will, of the Tampa Bay Rays of 2008?
I'm glad you make that comparison because it's probably exactly right. Because you go back to the 2008 Rays, I think half of it was the fact that this team, since '98, they're not supposed to win games. But the other half is that, and you've seen this comparison made in the national media there with this Kansas City Royals team, is that they found it and it got it humming along. And at 31, I think 31 again in 15, they've won almost twice as many as they've lost. And it's ironic that it comes in a year where they tried to get a new they tried to get money for the improvements to Arrowhead for the Chiefs, and they stuck the Royals on there for improvements there at their stadium, Kauffman Stadium, and the voters there, they voted it down. And it's like, now you got the hottest team or one of the hottest teams in baseball. Hope the Rays can pull out the victory today. And, just because we have a stadium issue going on, just back me that way a little. And at the end of the day, everything seems like it is. It's all related somehow. It's all cyclical. And yeah, that is a Leo word.
It is very good there, Leo Word, and we'll have him on Wednesday night here, and we'll see what we're doing here in the future with the Sports Web. Want to go out to this Loose Cannons podcast, which we've had Samra Ali before, Poppy Latte, and of course Stank Bastard. That really is his name.
They're killing it. They're killing it.
They had Jason Light on the other night, and he was talking about Jordan Whitehead. And once again, I feel like this signing in itself is under the radar, and a lot of people are not talking about it, but for me, I definitely think it solidifies that back end. And he even admitted the other night on the podcast, which we got to have the guys on sometime on the Evolution. They made a mistake. He made a mistake by not re-signing Whitehead. What do you say?
Well, I mean, Carlton Davis is so excited to be in Detroit, almost as excited he was in 2020 and 55. But no, I mean, bringing him back here, he likes the system, he likes his team. It's still this Todd Bowles defense, and I think it is going to be very important because, I mean, the secondary hasn't been a weakness of the Bucs in even the last couple of years. They're really starting to bring their own as the Bucs seemingly have been trying that front seven, and they continue to poke and prod there. And the whole thing with Vita Vea, just stay tuned because it's exciting. But I think, it was not just Jordan Whitehead when he started changing his socials the week before he actually signed here, and he started putting those old reminiscing pictures about himself when he was with this team in 2020. And show me a Buck fan out there. I'll bet Stank and Poppy Latte will back me up on this. Didn't look at that and go, yeah, those were pretty good times. Let's do that again. That don't sound too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad at all. You're exactly right about that. The national media, it's been really down on the Bucs the last couple of years. So why is that, in your opinion? Why would that continue to be? Is it, again, the Baker Mayfield hasn't had a consistent year? Because you hear this week from NFL.com's Cynthia Freeland, she has the Bucs at 7.5. The popular pick at this point is the Atlanta Falcons at 9.9. We kind of talked about this on Wednesday night, but I don't know if I got the answer from you. Why is the national media so down on the Bucs? Not only last year, but this year. Is it the Brady effect? Because you don't have Tom Brady, so it's a lazy take there. So of course you're not, supposed to do anything. Is it Baker Mayfield? What is it? Why do so many people favor the Atlanta Falcons over the Bucs in this NFC South, in your opinion?
The only thing I can imagine is maybe it goes back to what we've known since 1976 when this team was incepted here. Coach Mark Ferguson, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you so much. Locking it down here in Ferg's backyard here.
On camera.
If Coach wants to come up here, Peter Blake would love to talk to you, Coach. But I'll go ahead and finish this thought right here. It goes back to 1976. We live in paradise here, and players and coaches and fans should want to come here. So at the end of the day, we have a team that's better than the Falcons. Number one, going for a fourth consecutive NFC South title. I think there's just some jealousy there. But, I think it's good. I like what J.C. Allen came on Cup of Ray last weekend. I love what he said. Hey, let them call us underdogs. If it adds fuel to the fire with the 53 in a room and a coaching staff and everyone involved with the Buccaneers organization, more power to us. We're ready to take the world over in 2024.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. Some others that had some comments about the Bucs. Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, of course, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were talking about the NFC South, and this is in care of Joe Bucs fan. They said that, and Johnson said he's not swallowing the Cousins-Falcons narrative. I still think Tampa wins the division. So that's former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Keyshawn Johnson, Richard Sherman, of course, Skip Bayless loves Baker Mayfield. I think he loves Mayfield as much as he loved Brady there. I haven't really get a chance to watch a show sometime, but your thoughts on Keyshawn, giving the Bucs some love there with winning the NFC South over the Falcons, not swallowing the narrative.
Not drinking that Kool-Aid. I thought you were going to say swallowing the Kool-Aid. But, the Kirk Cousins deal, he's got Kyle Pitts. He's got Drake London. You got Bijan. You got a team. You got some weapons there that if Kirk Cousins is given enough time to hit him with checkdowns and stuff, the Bucs will still cover him with our secondary guys coming up, pushing it, and our middle linebackers and KJ Britt intercepting a few touchdown returns for tutties this year. But the fact of the matter is, there's that Falcons team, even though they've come a long way and they've got some tools on offense, they've still had some misses on the offensive line and in the defense, especially in the secondary. So they can keep loving the Atlanta Falcons. I just can't. Do they love Buckhead there in Atlanta, which is beautiful? The wife and I have went to Canoe, great restaurant there. Love Buckhead, Atlanta, not more than I love Tampa Bay. What is it about these Falcons? Is it because Arthur Blank promises that everybody will get a $3,000 gift card at Home Depot that if they follow the Bucs? Because the Bucs deserve that love 100%. We're the defending champions, whether it's 8-11 or 8-9 or 10-7. We're the defending champions. Why does that love go everywhere but where it belongs, right here?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get it. But I expect it every year from the national media. I expect it from pundits out there to say the shiny new toy and Cousins.
I know what it is, Peter. It's because they want to hate on Tampa Bay like, there's Coach Mark Ferguson. I'm going to get him on here. They want to hate on a Tampa Bay like a Boston and a New York, but the problem is all their grandparents and great-grandparents moved here, so they have to root a little bit closet fans for the Tampa Bay, right, Coach?
Talking about attendance?
Oh, no, we're talking about why Tampa Bay gets no respect. The Falcons are supposed to still win the South, but as far as these races go, why don't you talk with Peter about what you think, Coach?
All right, here we go. Mark Ferguson, owner of Fergs. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, as we go to that wide shot there. Welcome, buddy. It's been a long time since I've seen you, since I interviewed you for the CW there. How are you doing today, buddy?
We're doing wonderful. It's 2-2 in the seventh inning, and we're going to come back and win this game.
I love your being optimistic. I love your positivity. Have you had any panic about this team? That was the big-time question. Kevin Cash talked about that last night, how he was not panicking, but he is concerned about it. Where is your panic level for this team at the end of the day? Or once again, Mark, is it a long season for this race team and you feel like they can turn this around?
It's a long season, as we know. There's so many new players. So many guys have been hurt. Our pitching staff is hurt. But Kevin Cash in the organization always brings through the best with the lowest payroll. I don't know how they do it, but you have to have faith in them. This is the first year in 6 years that we haven't been, we're right around 500, and we've always been a little better. So I'm hoping they get a couple more newer players, trade some players, and then the second half of the year we go on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you're going to be able to do this is you're going to have to go on a roll here. You're going to have to start stacking some wins and winning 2 out of 3, which, again, you had to feel pretty good about them coming off that road trip of 5-2 and then coming home. And then they get swept by the Red Sox and they're having their difficulties with a pretty damn good Royals team. But that being said, would you like them to spend more money? Because I kind of, I get into it with fans and they go, well, they've done a good job of what they have. They don't need to spend money. And you have Stu talking about how it's hard to swallow $90 million. But wouldn't it be nice to wake up one day and say the Rays went all in, much like the Bucks and much like the Lightning did in this area?
It's his business model works, so it's hard to argue with him. I mean, this Royals team is really good. It's really good. And the Yankees are good. Baltimore's really good. We have, it's been a good run for us.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we do need to spend more money, but the business model works where you're not paying free agents a boatload of money when they're 28, 29, 30, 31 years old. 140 million, 150 million. That's crazy. The Rays have the right concept. They just need to get injuries back in check, and they just need to get healthy.
Yeah, that's what it definitely comes down to. We're on with the owner of Fergs, Mr. Mark Ferguson. How many years have you guys been in business over there at Fergs in downtown St. Pete, my friend?
November 25th will be 33 years.
33 years, and I feel like we should get out there and do a sports web, have you on there, talk to some people. I miss you guys. I remember being on the sidewalk there when we first started out with the sports web, with Bucks Report. It was great times. I miss it, so we definitely got to get out there. What's the crowds out there like right now for this Memorial Day weekend?
It's very strong. Last night was good. Tonight is very strong. A lot of people at the game, a lot of families. It's just a great atmosphere to be around. And we are so blessed to be in St. Pete, where everything's building around us. And let me tell you, when the new stadium's built, people don't understand the new stadium, what it's going to do for us. When it's all done, there'll be 15,000 people living on the site. 5,000 people working on the site. So I don't think attendance with a 30,000 seat stadium is going to be a factor in 4 more years.
So you're excited about getting that new stadium done there in downtown St. Pete. You think it's going to work out? You don't have any reservations of any kind or any negative thoughts that it won't get done? You think it'll eventually?
It's going to get done. The vote's going to come up in July. But when you add, we've tried so many years to get the Rays to come to the table. Now they're at the table. They have a great partner in the Himes Corporation who did the Braves complex. It's just all coming together. And for the city of St. Pete, we're going to keep the Rays. Number 2, we're going to create jobs. Okay. Number 3, we're going to have a tax base. That 86 acres is going to become industrial, commercial, retail, entertainment. It's going to create a whole new tax base for St. Pete, and we're all going to be right in the middle of it. It's great for everybody. People can nitpick, and we have some affordable housing, but jobs. We need jobs, and we need affordable housing, and they're developing everything. It's never going to be perfect for anybody, but this is a great pitch for St. Pete to hit it out of the ballpark.
Love it. Good stuff. All right. Tampa Bay Rays says that you got a Teacher Appreciation Day on the 29th. Can you talk about that a little bit here on the Evolution?
Oh, yes. Being a former teacher for 18 years, we all know that it all goes back to education and taking care of people and families, and teachers are the core of that. So every year we do a teacher appreciation where we're going to give out probably 4 to 5 kegs of beer for the teachers. We're going to have 2 bands. They're going to be partying from 1:30 in the afternoon till 12 o'clock at night. And we also have an Oakland A's game in between all this. So it's going to be a great day. Encourage all the teachers to come out. And we're just saying thank you for all your support, teachers.
Yeah, and it's tough to be a teacher these days, right? I mean, could you be a teacher these days? Pay's not the greatest. Kids are kind of different. I know. I love kids. I love the new generation, but you got to admit it's a little bit different. It's a lot tougher to be a teacher these days, right, Mark?
It's very hard to be a teacher these days, but we need teachers so bad. We need good parents. We need good kids, and just follow the rules. If you listen to your adults, you'll be fine.
Love it. And you got to listen to this guy right here. He's the owner of Fergs, Mr. Mark Ferguson. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. All right.
Thank you, and go Rays.
Go Rays. All right. So, again, update the score here. It looks like 3-2. Royals.
I'll tell you what, and you talk about, that's a rite of passage for teachers here in Pinellas County, is the teachers' appreciation. They go through the entire year working so hard to keep our young ones engaged and in teaching them trigonometry and, history and all that crazy stuff. And then they come down here, they unwind it all. So I'm glad you got a chance to talk to Coach about that, Pete.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great stuff there. And it's on the 29th there. So
Right, 29th, right? So basically last day of school, check out, come down, teachers. So, at the end of the year, they work so hard. Our kids are coming home. We're having them get ready, get the summer reads, and the teachers come down, they unwind it a little. And the history with Fergs down here. So much of this, everything that's built down here came from repurposed materials from all of our county high schools and middle and elementary schools, which is why it's always worked so well. The iconic Fergs, which is down here on Central Avenue, just below 16th Street, in the Edge district of St. Petersburg.
You love to say that Edge. And right now, just to update the score, 2 Royals over the Rays. And the
bottom of 7th.
Yeah, so we'll see. But a foul ball there. The guy loses it in the lights and he doesn't even know where it's at, and it goes right over his head. So maybe a second chance there, second opportunity for the Rays to get on the board with Jose Siri at the plate. He hasn't done much this year when it comes to hitting. Or,
like I said, he had Itzhak Paredes gets the third, comes home to tie it. Siri, he got hit with a pitch. Are you seeing this real time like me? I didn't hear the woos from the stadium behind me like I did a home run, but yeah, he'll take first. So the Rays have first and second with only one out. So maybe this is that. Let's get 2 runs, take a 1 run to the 8th.
You got hit. He got hit. So you're ahead of us here. So
yeah,
Siri is on with 1 out. Shake it off, gets a base there, and hopefully he can.
That was a Taylor Swift song, Shake It Off. Is that because we're talking NFL schedule next?
Well, no, but he definitely needs to shake off not getting caught at second base, and hopefully this can stop getting caught, stealing, because it has just hurt this team and has killed this team over and over and over again. And I think it's definitely one of the most disappointing aspects right now. We'll see.
Pete, do you think that's one of those things, because you and I have talked about the fact that this team is so analytically heavy driven, but Kevin Cash wants to find that happy medium and let the players play ball, and because second doesn't have a coach, first is behind him and the third base is over there. Do you think second base in Siri, it's one of those things that the young kids just trying too hard and not playing within parameters of race baseball?
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I think it comes down to a guy that had all kinds of high expectations, had over 20 home runs last year, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It's not working. He's trying too hard. They're not having fun. I think again, it just goes back to this team doesn't look like they're having fun right now. They look like they're on eggshells. And did he get caught off a base again? Hold on a sec. Did he get caught?
Wait a minute. No, he's there. He's still there.
Well, let's see.
No, I'm ahead of you. He's still there.
Wow, he was fortunate because I think he whiffed him. He laid the tag there. So
doesn't Ty go to the runner though?
Well, he got picked off, but he got his
Ty goes to the runner.
He got his hand in there, and the guy laid on the on the tag.
Laid, is that a Leo word?
It's a Leo word. What you're watching right now is the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy there live in downtown St. Pete. In case you want to catch that interview with Coach Larry Wade, definitely do that on the replay there. But I'm going to cut up some reels, some really great stuff there. You watched the interview. What did you think? What did you take out of that interview that kind of made you like, okay, I want to watch this fight even more now?
It was funny because I think this is the guy that's in the room. He's training Jake Paul. And I'll give you guys I'll tell you right now. I knew Jake and Logan Paul because my kids. I've got a 15-year-old son who was 13 or 12 back in the day, and my 22-year-old daughter. I knew who these kids were. thing about Jake and Logan is they're so smart. They're so intelligent, not just because they're manipulating or seeing. They don't see like there's a weakness in the market, let's take advantage. They just know what people like to see. They know what drives our interests. And Jake has taken that very thing and transferred it to the boxing world. And I love that you're talking to Coach, and he took you right to the edge where he's not going to give you the secret sauce as to how they're preparing Jake to face Mike Tyson on July 20th there at AT&T Stadium. But it was funny because I was like hanging on the edge of my seat going, tell us, Coach. And he's so suave. But yeah, that's a guy that's in a room that locked it. You talk about making reels up. I'm going to be cutting reels on it because, again, I'm excited for this Tyson-Paul fight there in July. I'm excited because what it means to boxing.
Well, and I'm excited too. And let me make the reels up, my friend, and we'll figure it out together on how we should cut it up. But just got done interviewing Titus O'Neil the other day, talking WrestleMania with him. So it's been a busy week here for the Sports Web, for the JP Peterson Show. Hopefully you guys have a great holiday weekend. What do you got planned here? Actually, tell you what, stand by. Let me go out to the phone lines here. I think, let's see who we got. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, you got Frankie from Wisconsin. How's it going, man?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? What's on your mind today?
Well, I know that you guys are talking about Tampa Ray baseball.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's what we do. But we can shift gears to the Bucks if you want to. Yes.
Well, I wanted to go to a different sport if that's okay.
Okay, go for it.
Well, you know, I'm scattered all over the place when it comes to my teams. And right now I got two of my teams in the playoffs. I got the Stars and I got the Mavericks.
Sure.
And the Mavericks are looking hot right now. And I wanted your guys' opinion, though, on tonight's game with the Stars and the Oilers.
Yeah, well, going back to Luka last night with the big time shot, I mean, that's a shot that when you make that, he's already a young superstar, but maybe that's where people start to take notice. Maybe this team that propels this team to the finals with Kyrie.
Hey, can we also, I'm sorry, Pete, I cut you off, but can we not all, the three of us, agree that Luka Doncic, he's mine. I hope he's your guys' favorite player in the league. Not just because of the heart this kid has, but basically the game he has, but the kind of person he is. And that's why you'll find me also rooting for those Stars. And the Dallas Mavericks, because also the Orlando Magic are out. But yeah, I just think he's one of my favorite players.
Oh, we got an update here. Let's see. Series scores. So now it is 3-3. Base hit by Harold Ramirez right there. Palacios also got walked, so he moves to third there. Kind of like a little inside-outside swing jam shot to right field. And there you go. We got a tie game at 3-3 now in the, as I update this, I believe it's the 7th or the 8th. Was it the 8th or 7th?
Bottom of the 7th.
Bottom of the 7th. So there you go. Tie game here. Rays between the Royals. To know your question about
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
No, I was saying he's my favorite player. I'm thinking that the three of us in here, do you got someone, Peter, you like more? Because I'll tell you what, just because I've seen the reel where this guy goes up to people. He does so much above and beyond. This Eastern European that may have a language barrier to somewhat extent. He does with the accents and all, but one of my favorite players in this entire league, and I'm rooting for them. As far as your Stars, can the Stars beat the Florida Panthers? Because if the Panthers beat the Rangers, I need your Stars to beat those Panthers because I can't have those Panthers as another Stanley Cup winner in the state of Florida.
Well, it's the Rangers versus the Panthers, first and foremost, and the Rangers clearly have been the best team in that series. And then the Stars and the Oilers is who he's asking about. I haven't really watched that series, Frankie. Tell me about what's going on with that series right now.
Well, you know, it's like you had game one going, and it was a nail biter because honestly, you know me, with my disease that I just tend to fall asleep sometimes. So I'm watching it, and it was game one was just about ready to start the second overtime, and that's when I fell asleep.
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, man.
Didn't the Oilers win that? They won that in overtime, correct?
They won game one 3-2 in double overtime, but I caught both Mavericks games. And
by the way, there's a home run for the Rays. I'm sorry, I can hear the horn over there. They got bases loaded. I'm trying to see who's up the bat. Who's up the bat, Pete?
That would be, and I'm looking right now, Adam. Who is that? I believe that is.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I'm sorry. I might have reported. What happens is they loaded the bases, and now that the Royals manager's out to the mound, so it might just be a pitching change.
Well, if the horn went off, it's a home run.
There was a horn, but it might just been that we're excited because they're pulling their pitcher's horn. I don't know. Maybe at this point, because I'm only about a minute behind. Aranda did do something. Of course, he's the one that got this entire rally started at the top of the seventh or the top of the bottom of the seventh. So it's crazy what's going on there. But and it looks like they're getting ready to change pitchers there for the Royals.
They are. Diaz is up to bat. Bases loaded by the Rays. 1 out in the bottom of the seventh right now. 3-3 Rays versus the Royals. Yeah, Frankie, it's been a great series. Of course, the Oilers win game 1 there in the long overtime. I didn't watch game 2. What happened in game 2? What's that series like right now?
Game 2 is tonight. That's why I was
Game
wanting
2.
to talk about it.
Well, to me, it's a must-win game, is it not? Because if you go 0-2 down to the Oilers, then you don't feel good about it.
And in my opinion, I think Dallas is the best team coming in, along with the Rangers, and I would love to see a Stars-Rangers Cup. But being as the Stars fan, I don't think I would want to see that because I think the Rangers.
Now, if your Stars go to the Stanley Cup and win it, and the Mavericks boss up, and then somehow you're a Cowboys fan, I'm assuming too. Those Cowboys, they rock it out.
No, he's not a Cowboy fan. He's a Bucks fan.
I'm kidding. But you're Dallas. Do you think if the Cowboys do man up, do they take the reins from Tampa Bay as far as Champa, or do the Rays still have Tampa Bay going for them? It's a tough question. I'm sorry. Well, you're the one. You're walking a fine line there, my friend.
Well, it makes lots of sense because
Ray.
Right.
Just so you know, Ray, because you brought up the Cowboys, I'm a Buccaneer fan, die hard.
Yes,
Blake knows this.
Yes,
when it comes to baseball, because I'm from Wisconsin, I'm born and raised right on the border. So born and raised right on the border. I'm a diehard Cub fan. Sandberg runs through my blood, dude. That trophy gets, I want to be there when that trophy gets put up in Wrigley Field.
Let me give you an update,
brother.
Right? Yandy Diaz first pitch bounces out to the shortstop, double play.
But it's 3-3, so we're going to the 8th, and we still have a shot.
Yep, you do definitely have a shot.
The Rays got a chance to actually come in and make the playoffs.
We'll see.
Hey, wild card banner going up.
We'll see. We shut up and be quiet about the wild card banner.
I'm going to give Aaron Jacobson from the Pat and Aaron Show on 95.3 WD Mondays through Fridays from 6 till whenever 10. But yeah, he's the one that made jokes about it last year. But I've been over there, Peter, and you were there with your with our president. Your mom's what? She's in charge of Sports Web. She's in charge of booking all of our bookings. But you were there last week. I look up and they may be wild card banners, but it's still every banner in Tropicana Field tells a story.
Quit kissing up to my mom. My mom does not run.
She knows better. She knows more than you and I combined.
Yeah, of course. All right, Frankie, anything else here on the Sports Web?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching you guys still. Peter, I do have questions for you on a personal level as far as podcasts go, because my friends and I are going to get a wrestling podcast going. So with the Logan Paul thing, dude, Logan Paul's exciting as far as wrestling goes.
Yes, he's very exciting. He's a nice guy too.
I thought it was going to be a joke.
Well, I met the guy, and I was able to tell him, I like your work in WWE when he was, I was getting his information, or he's getting my information for me to send me the Rolex. But I remember him meeting him at Amalie Arena after the fight during the press conference. Nice guy, but he's definitely very, very talented, very talented. And even Triple H said this about a year ago. He's way too talented he's way too good for his own good at this point.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that I want to meet when it comes to wrestling. So he's on my bucket list of guys I'd like to meet. So.
We'll definitely talk off here about it, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call if you want to. All right, Frankie?
All right, man. Stay cool, guys.
We'll do.
Frankie, thank you.
From Wisconsin. You got to love that. All right.
I love that. I love Frankie.
I do too. Big diehard Bucks fan. When it comes down to it, let's go out here. The Bucks, he said the Bucks. The Bucks do better with small expectations. Andrew Fulbert, the big board right there. Howdy, gents. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And let's go out to the big board again. As a guy living out in Oiler land, they want tonight's game real bad. And again, if you do win that, if you win game 2 tonight, you're up 2-0. You feel good about your chances. We know all too well how important game 2 is, because if you start to get down 0-2, if you're the Stars, then, that thought starts to creep in. Momentum is absolutely prevalent in sports right now, and you get up to that lead and you start to feel good about your situation.
And for me, it's like I go back to when they were the Edmonton, or they were the Minnesota North Stars. Then they became the Dallas Stars, and I'm talking about the Edmonton Oilers. And so from a hockey historical standpoint, I was kind of rooting. I'm sorry, Frankie, but I was like, oh, it's the Oilers. Nothing against the Stars. The Stars have manned up the last few years, but then I go on the other side with the Rangers versus Florida, and it's like, so I can't like totally root for like an old school type of a hockey, because now I got the Panthers and the Rangers on this side. But I'll tell you what, the Stars, what they got good goaltending, and they can score quick. So yeah, you don't want to fall behind the Oilers, but I think that they can definitely, if they take the series, regardless of who they play in the East, whether it's the Panthers or the Rangers, it's going to be a pretty good Stanley Cup, and I'll probably go back to it. But I'll be honest, since the Lightning got bounced from the playoffs, I've really not watched much hockey at all, but we've had the Rays going on. We've had, the draft and everything else. So what about you, Peter? Are you even tuning in for some of these games?
I'm absolutely tuning in for some of these games. I'm watching basketball a lot more. You asked me who my favorite superstar is right now. I got to go local. The local kid there, Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic. He is a budding superstar. In fact, I think the Magic are maybe one player away, Donovan Mitchell, away from. Oh, and they caught the guy off of first. He is picked off.
Yeah, it was a pickoff.
So Jason Adams there with the pickoff, and the Rays now got one out, so they're out of that situation. So good for the bullpen and Jason Adams, who had a rough outing the other night. Total of 3 runs for the entire year, gives up 2 in a crucial situation for the Red Sox when you have to close them out. And that's another big key for this Rays team. And I continue to sound like a broken record. When you're in those high leverage situations, your bullpen has to get out of it. They got to perform. And it always helps with the pickoff move by Adam. And that's exactly what they get. Let's go out to Andrew Fulbert. I love a goon squad winning, so I'm rooting for the Panthers. I think there's some people out there right now rooting for the Panthers, but clearly the Rangers are the best team in that series, and we'll see if they move on. But again, going back to what you said about the Magic, Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, got a really young team there. Just need one more player to solidify it. Who knows? Maybe you're talking more than just the first round of the playoffs. We'll see next year. Playoffs! Up a phone.
Playoffs!
727-255. 0391 at 727-255-0391. Let's go out to this. Cade Otton was talking to the media, and he had goals, of course, for the 2024 season. And he says, I want to be in the Pro Bowl. I mean, obviously, a lot of receiving stats go into that, but I want to be a great blocker, too. That doesn't always get recognized by the media or anything like that. Just amongst our team, being known as someone that can count on to run behind or take care of guys on the backside of our runs. So it's hard to kind of quantify those things, but just building trust in our offense for blocking. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly what you want to do as a player. You want to have that goal to not only make the Pro Bowl, but become a better blocker. And I remember, talking to Anthony Beck, who played in the NFL for the New York Jets, first-round pick there. Now coaching in the UFL, and he said
they lost today, but they still are in the playoffs.
And he was a big fan of Ott, and he just said the kid needs more opportunities, and that's exactly what he's going to get. And you'll get more of those opportunities, not only in this offense with Baker Mayfield throwing the ball all around the lot, but also if you're a good blocker, because the Bucs will want to keep you in those situations, right?
Right, and then you look at this Liam Cohen offense. They're like, oh, they brought Liam Cohen in because, Baker was with him for a cup of coffee last season, had him prepared in 33 minutes to go win that Thursday night. But you're talking about the good teams, and I was saying this the other night with you, Peter. We were talking in the Sports Web on Wednesday night. I said the good teams are the ones that continue to change as they stay consistent with the talent they bring in. They continue to tweak and change, and all of a sudden, but you look at this Buccaneers and you look at this tight end room that Buccaneers currently have, and I'll even go back to a Keefe who can come in at fullback and scare the crap out of you. You look at this tight end room and you're thinking, as Liam Cohen, how are they going to use Chris Godwin? Mike Evans is still going, Hall of Famer. He already's got that locked up. Just keep playing like you do, Mike. This could be a team that relies on a strong tight end room, not only to get the catches out of the backfield and release valve for Baker, but to open up the block blocks for a Rachaad White to open up the blocks to get that running game going. That's how the Buccaneers find their truest offensive success, I think, in 2024.
And then also the re-emergence, and I'm going to say it right now, he could be comeback player of the year. That's Chris Godwin being put in his natural position of slot. That's exactly what they need to do in this offense. I think he'll flourish. I think he'll put up some big-time numbers, and a lot of Bucs fans will, stop saying, is Chris Godwin going to be out of here because of the high cap number? They're going to figure out, well, you need to re-sign Chris Godwin, and somehow, some way, Jason Line and this organization are definitely going to be able to figure out. But I would expect not only a big year by Otten, but also Chris Godwin. Just to update right now, the Rays get out of it, so they're out of the inning, so they are up to bat. So we will see what the Rays can do in this tie game.
Bottom of the 8th, 3-3. Let's get this going. And since I'm here, it's a beautiful thing. Hot Corner Pizza was on a corner. Coach Mark Ferguson originally owned that one business, and then he bought a little gas station over here and went at the original, the room, which is now the front room where Coach has a nice wood and all. You can go in there and look at the old pictures. But since back there, I never realized, Pete, it's 2024, 98, 26 years. I didn't realize that, because every year whatever the games are streaming on or whatever, it changes, so there's a delay. But yeah, I'm standing here. I'll tell you what, if I hear that home run horn, this time I'll make sure it's the home run horn. I hear it before you guys do it. I'll report it 2 minutes ahead of time. So keep it tuned here in the Sports Web and the Evolution.
Yeah, and I was going to get off, but I feel like we owe it to everybody here to stay on until the Rays game is over with, so we can actually be some good luck. So, man,
I'm feeling it. Hey, Itzhak came through. You got, what's going on? So let's do it. I'm ready. We'll report the close of the game, and then we'll let our other guys take it over, because one thing at Tampa Bay is we do have some good post-game, pre-game coverage, because you got the Sports Web covering pre-game, halftime, and post-game for your Buccaneers, and then WDAE does some other good things to sweep up the rest of the floor.
You better stop. Stop.
I'm kidding.
I get it. We got Fairbanks.
I love my guys.
Yeah, we got Fairbanks warming up here, so we'll see if the Rays can get a run. Wow, they were trying to bunt there. Johnny DeLuca. Talk about DeLuca a little bit, because he's definitely been a shot in the arm for this lineup. Actually, tell you what, let's go ahead and hold off on that thought. Let's go back out to the phone lines here. I believe, is this Frankie?
Yeah.
All right, using your second call. Welcome back to the Evolution. What's on your mind?
Well, you guys were sounding like you were going to get off, so I was like, well, damn, I better use my second call.
Well, there you go. So we're on with you here, and we're just watching this game. Yes.
Tampa Bay Ray was talking about the Tampa Bay tight ends.
Right.
So I had to say, the O'Keefe name drop, man. I love O'Keefe. I think he's so underrated. I really do. But the guy that I am so high on is Cade Otton, and I think Cade Otton is just going to be a beast. I really do.
Well, he's got the mindset that he's going to be a beast. Not only does he want to be a Pro Bowler, but he also wants to improve his blocking, and that's what it's going to take for him to step up into that next category as a tight end that you're definitely going to respect around the league. You look at it, I think Kelsey's a pretty good blocker. I think you would have to admit that Greg Kittle is a pretty good blocker. There's plenty of tight ends out there. That's the one thing you got to have in your game, because if you're not a great blocker, then you become a liability. And plus, the team can't keep you on the field at all times because you are such a weak blocker.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frankie. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, guys.
No, Frankie, I'm backing you up. I just like the fact that O'Keefe, the heart that kid brings. And, again, the teams, you don't want to see the same thing every year. I mean, only the teams that continue to move things, they change a little bit every year. And, I mean, maybe the Chiefs are never going to change because Patrick Mahomes is always going to be Mahomes. And you're going to have Tay in the box and Travis getting down the middle of the field. But this Buccaneers team, you're going to have – they've got no – because even though Liam Cohen comes in and takes over for Dave Canales, at the end of the day, it's still going to be our second year now with that zone blocking scheme, because it was a similar type of an offense that these teams run. And these tight ends in this team, I think these tight ends this year are going to be Baker Mayfield's best friends. And I think that's what's going to open up. And then you can start hitting those deep routes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hold on a sec. Speaking of somebody being in charge of the Sports Web, look at this. Look at what she brought here. Look at that.
Let's see.
Right there in the camera, right there. Don Zimmer, Zimbear. Do you see it?
Don Zimmer. I remember the game they gave that away, Pete. I was working fan photography. I was over in right field, and I took a.
Don
I'm sorry.
Zimmer was the coach for the Cubs in 1989.
Yes, absolutely.
Don Zimmer.
Yep, Don Zimmer.
That guy, in all honesty, in the time that he coached the Cubs, I don't really think he really knew what he was doing.
But let me tell you something. If Don Zimmer hadn't had his back turned wrong, he'd have kicked Pedro Martinez's ass. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Pedro went after him, guys, and Don took it. But, Don Zimmer, I remember the game we gave those away, the Zimmer Bear. We won that game, and I took a picture. It's on my Facebook. Go back and search it somewhere in there. I put him at the top of the stairs going up in the right field, section 132. I put the Zimmer Bear down, and the orange roof was lit, which is why, again, Paredes getting the tying run today. And our Rays, if there's nothing else, I say our Rays, but they're definitely a team that plays with passion and with their heart. So they're usually doing their best when they have that passion and heart. And that's what we need to see still with this 2024 squad.
Yeah, right now, I'll give you an update on it. Base hit right there from the catcher. I'm trying to pronounce his name. Is it Roadvet? Is that his name?
Right, Roadvet, yes.
Okay, you got a hit there, a bouncing ball. On the second base side, past the pitcher. I think that's his name. All right, so he's on right now.
Frank.
Yes.
Ray, I just want to say, when you are not sitting down is when I love you the best, man, because you just have so much emotion and so much passion, man. You just walk around and your arms are flailing, dude. I can see the passion when you talk about your stuff, man.
Frankie. I tell you what,
honestly, Ray, dude, I remember back in the day when I first started coming on the sports web, and I would wait for Sunday to have the coffee talk with you.
Yeah,
I remember that. I've been through a lot, and maybe Peter can kind of catch you up with a little bit, but I remember that the coffee talk with Ray, man, and I miss
all the time.
Really
Cup of Ray on Sundays, which he usually has. Yes,
Frank, I hope you. I want to say this though, because I hope you realize that as much as you appreciate, we're communicating. I hope you understand how good it makes us feel. It makes me feel inside, because I do. I remember and I know, and that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, we can quantify, economics and whatever this and that, but really, it's just us talking, brother. And I appreciate everything you just said.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, Ray. Dude, just keep up all your work, man. You and Peter, you guys have passion, man, and you guys have the drive to do what you want to do. And you guys are doing this for the sports web, for Tampa Bay sports. And that's exactly what I want to do for wrestling. Because, dude, what you guys have for passion for Tampa Bay sports, that's like me with wrestling.
Love it.
Okay?
Love it.
My whole living room right now is decked out and completely covered in wrestling memorabilia. Autographs that I got throughout the years. Just fan memorabilia. Dude, I'm not even lying, man. I wish I could show you.
Hold on. Did you watch King and Queen of the Ring today on Peacock?
Oh, of course, man. I was glued to that TV. And let me just tell you, I am a huge, huge, huge fan of the Wyndham Rotunda family, okay? And I was waiting for the Wyatt 6 thing, because we're the QR codes kept giving us this date. And I'm
and it didn't come out. They didn't come out today.
We're going to get it.
Right.
And then end of the pay-per-view, after Cody won, spoiler alert, sorry guys, I'm like, Wyatt 6, and then it just cuts off, and I'm like,
it goes like this.
We got a QR code that was a 5-minute video during the pay-per-view. I was like, that's it?
Yep, that's
it. What we got?
Yep. But you have to be careful, though.
Hey, don't remember now. What happened was, when you used that QR code and you cooked it into your into your phone, they actually got all your information, which is fine if there's an organization we trust in. If they're covering wrestling, locking it down, okay, we're good together. But that's obviously why they do that. But I mean, they're obviously trusted, because they wouldn't let them do it through a pay-per-view, because all the companies would lose trust if it was something nefarious. But yeah, that's the reason why they do that. So not only you can see what they got to offer, but they can get your information. But you know what? If it's what we love at the end of the day, I'm like, let them have the information. Just hit me with the good stuff.
I don't even know what you just said. Seriously.
Frankie, do you understand me?
Just didn't acknowledge me.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Acknowledge me.
And I will say this. Ray has no idea what he was talking about at all. I do apologize. He was just ranting on. That is not the reason why they get your QR information, is to get your information. No,
if you use your phone to pick up a QR code, you're dialing to their servers. They know it's Peter Blake, your phone number. They know. I mean, it's not that they're going to do anything dangerous with it. They want to know who their fans are. They want to beat to their base, and if you're part of their base, I'm like, go ahead, share it.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it is.
Am I wrong? I mean,
yeah, you're wrong on that.
I'm just curious, when WrestleMania actually happened at Ray J, how crazy was it down there for you guys?
I mean,
it was
absolutely nuts. I wish I would have went to it. I went to one WrestleMania in Miami in 2012. I wish I would have gotten the opportunity to go again, but COVID kind of ruined that. A COVID year, they were supposed to be here, and of course, they ended up doing the WrestleMania in the Performance Center there, which was fine, but it was different.
Yeah, but Frankie, there were everywhere here in Tampa Bay. It was funny because that's how I gauge how big an event is. It was happening over across the bay. We're the bedroom side, right over here on the beaches. We're like the condo or all the hotels, and Tampa's more like we're the part. They're the party, we're the business, but. Frankie, over here at Ferg's that weekend, everywhere there was WWE WrestleMania, all the wrestling gear was out. It was a nice large footprint. So if you're asking me as far as a community, does are they welcomed in your community for an economic impact? 100%, because not only was it a pretty good show, but they were everywhere on this side of the bay, let alone over there in Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go out to Christopher Cole.
They just released that they're going to do WrestleMania in Las Vegas. That's why I was like,
yeah.
Man, they're gonna take over Vegas like that. I kind of wonder how big of an impact they left in Tampa with the 2-day event, because I know they had to have brought money to you guys.
Major impact.
Had to have brought it, because
major.
This is from my past. I used to be a gamer, and I would go to Gen Con in Indianapolis, and that's like a 4 to 5 day event. And the people there would tell us, dude, we mark this event on our calendar because we know we're getting paid.
Oh, yeah. They definitely got big time money. The Tampa Bay area benefited from it. WWE, Triple H, they absolutely benefited from it. So he even asked Titus O'Neil, and I'll make that as that question of, what did he think about WrestleMania 40? And then furthermore, when can WrestleMania come back to Tampa? And he had some great answers, so I'll put that out there. So be watching for that on social media.
O'Neil.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil's a class act.
I will put that out there on Facebook and put it out there on Instagram, and you go and like it and comment.
Put it on Insta.
Okay.
So, I'm not on Facebook, so everything you do, if you could put it on an Insta reel, I'll definitely see it, Peter.
Okay. I got
you. Ray, are you on Insta as well?
Yeah, he's on Instagram, are you?
Yeah, I am, Frankie, but I'll look out for you too, brother, because I really appreciate you.
Yeah, my Insta is the heel mark. It's CHA.heelmark.
Damn, I've seen you. No, I've seen you, brother. I do. I've seen you. I've come across your posts. So yeah, I'll definitely just make sure we hook up.
Yeah, it's where I'm starting my wrestling thing, because I'm the guy that marks out on a heel turn. So I was like, dude, that's a perfect wrestling name, the heel mark.
Love it.
I'm just going to use that as my wrestling podcast persona.
Well, buddy, you know we do a wrestling segment on the Sports Web on Wednesday nights at 10:20, right?
What's that?
We do a wrestling segment called the Turnbuckle Talk on the Sports Web at 10:20 on Wednesday night. So you tune into that and call into that,
so that's
all right?
That's 9:20 my time.
Correct.
So you're doing it after AEW.
Yes. So we're doing it. Yes, after AEW. Correct. And
okay.
Looks like a double here by the Royals. So 2 outs. Fairbanks in, but now you got a
Top
little bit.
Eighth.
Yep. No, excuse me. Ninth.
Ninth?
Still tied.
It's tied at 3, guys.
Yeah.
Tied at 3.
Real quick. Hey, Frankie, quick poll. The 3 of us in here. Are we? The baseball has to decide tomorrow. 100%. Putting the runner on second for the extra innings. Is it a yes or a no?
What was the question again?
Putting the runner on second base to start the extra innings for the 10th on. Putting that runner on second base to spur the offense to keep from having those. And the Rays still had a 12 inning game just last week. Would you stay with that rule, or would you say no? take it off, take the runner off second. Let's go back to the old way. Just start the inning over fresh.
No.
All right. Good stuff, Frankie. Appreciate the call. 10:20 Wednesday night. Monday, I think we're going to do a show.
Jose Siri just made a huge catch in this inning. Peter, watch this. Take a second and watch this.
Hold on.
Watch this play. He's loving it. You talk about Jose Siri, and you talked about the mistakes he's making. You see it?
Yeah, DeLuca looks like he lost it in the lights there, or Ramirez. Was it Ramirez that lost it? It
was Ramirez off third. But it came up. They didn't know where it was. But, you talked about Siri and the mistakes he's making in second. But also, even when he was in the doghouse 2 weeks ago, he jumps up in the dugout.
Look at this. How many people does it take to catch a fly ball? And it's 3.
It takes 3. Hey, he was happy. The Rays are going to the bottom of the ninth, tie game. So let's see if it carries over.
Yeah, well, we'll go with you in the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if the Rays can walk this off. Frankie, 10:20 Wednesday night. Turnbuckle Talk. Definitely tune in, okay?
Yep. What were you talking about on Monday?
Monday, I don't know if we're going to do a show or not. We'll see. It's a holiday, so maybe we'll take off or
Okay.
maybe we won't. We'll see. All right?
All right. I'll see you guys definitely on Wednesday, but I'll be looking for you on Monday.
All right. Sounds good, Frankie. Appreciate
Take care,
it.
Frankie.
There are 2 calls right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. As right now, the Rays are going into the bottom of the ninth versus the Kansas City Royals, trying to snap that losing streak. What is it at now? 5-game losing streak by the Rays. They lose to the Blue Jays. They lose 3, and they lost to the Royals. So that's 5, right? My math is correct. Yes, 5 in a row.
Are we staying on until the Rays game is over?
Why not? Why not?
You got to go full. You got to go full screen on you. I got to move my car before I get a ticket or towed. So give me 2 minutes, and I'll be right back.
All right, there you go. So instant production here by Tampa Bay Ray as he's moving his car. So we'll get him off. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Yeah, it's Tim from Charlotte County.
What's going on, Timmy? What's up?
No, not too much. Just watching your show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Always appreciate you watching and commenting and interacting. It's awesome. We decided to do this on, Saturday afternoon, which we don't usually do, but I kind of like it because it reminds me of the old days. So what's on your mind?
Well, I heard y'all talking about Chris Godwin.
Yes.
And that kind of made me want to call in. I heard Jason Light use the term "our guys."
Yeah.
And Godwin's one of our guys.
Exactly.
He's got to stay.
He's got to stay. And people are going, well, he's making lots of money at this point. And again, I'm looking at this replay. I don't know if you saw this with Siri. Ramirez loses it in the lights. The shortstop loses it in the lights. And Siri comes out of nowhere like Superman catching the ball, saying he's got it, running across the field there. So an amazing catch. Heads up play by Jose Siri. So we'll see if that can carry over to the plate here. But you're exactly right. Chris Godwin is one of these guys, one of your own guys that you want to definitely re-sign eventually. I know he's making lots of money at this point. I know there's some Bucs fans out there that are kind of down on him coming off that injury. But I feel like, this is going to be the year where we talk about not only Godwin, how he's going to flourish in this offense with Liam Cohen, with what he was able to do with Cooper Kupp, but also he's going to be healthy. I think he's going to be a lot healthier than he has been the last couple of years.
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
And the tight end too there.
K. Dotton. Yeah.
Yeah. A tight end is a very underutilized position, and we need to get the most out of that guy.
Well, you do. And, tight end can definitely be a quarterback's best friend, right? I mean, you definitely need him on those short and intermediate routes, especially when you're trying to double both of those wide receivers. And then on top of it, it helps your running game out. And that's what I like about it. And again, you can – people go, what is he supposed to say? He said the right thing, and that's exactly what you want your tight end to say. He needs to improve his blocking. He's going to improve that facet of his game, hopefully. And that will, get him to take that next step. And, quite possibly he could also be a guy that, will definitely do a lot better in this offense this year. A new offense from Liam Cohen, and we'll see same type of offense, if you will, terminology, just a little bit different. So it shouldn't be, that much more different from Dave Canales. But, some high expectations there. Maybe this offense will be a lot better. I think the offense is a lot better than what it was last year.
I agree. I know we're changing OCs, but the continuity. Most of the players are off.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge, especially on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, going back to it, it's so important for a tight end to, be able to develop that part of his game and blocking, because again, it not only helps your quarterback out, protects your quarterback, but on top of it, you're more physical at the point of attack. And it also helps your offensive line out when it comes to running the ball, which is what the Bucs definitely want to focus on this year more and more. What else, Tim?
One more question.
Yeah.
Randy Arozarena, this guy's in a contract year. Most NFL guys in contract years totally show out.
Yeah.
So make their money. And I mean, this guy's, he's gone the other way.
Well, he's gone the other way. And I just kind of wonder, that contract situation, is that becoming a distraction?
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you look at his second half of the year, ever since he was able to do that home run derby contest, he's been a different hitter. So I think I'm not a hitting instructor, never been a coach, never been a batting coach. I think it just comes down to going out there and letting it fly, doing what, got you there, going back to the basics, stop trying to pull everything, use all fields here just to update the action. Rays got 2 quick outs there. Siri with the fly out, Palacios with the grounder. So the Rays are down to their last out in the bottom of the ninth to walk it off if they want to. If they can't, then we're going to extra innings here. Harold Ramirez up at the dish. So we will definitely update you when that becomes available. Yeah, Tim. So I definitely agree. He's taken a step back. He's not the same hitter. It's a shame. He's highly talented. He's a fan favorite. And I know there's a lot of Rays fans that are concerned that eventually he'll be traded or not signed or go to another team and become even bigger superstar. But right now, he can't hit the broadside of a barn. You can't.
I wanted to answer Ray's question too to the other guy.
Sure.
I'd say put the guy on second base and get the game, man.
Well, what do you mean? Junior Caminero, put him at second?
Go to extra innings. No, when you go to extra innings, put a guy on second.
So you like that rule? You like the rule of? See, I hate it. I hate the rule. I just think you play it out the way you play every inning. Why does it change? And I get it. Everybody wants to quicken the game. There is a ground out right there. Ramirez cannot beat it out, even though he was hustling on that play. So 3 up, 3 down for the Royals, and we're going to extras here. Top of the 10th coming up, Royals versus the Rays there at Tropicana. Can the Rays snap this losing streak of 5 games? Tim, anything else here on the Evolution?
I think I'm going to slide up and see a game this week, that early one, the Oakland A's.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good, man. That's good. And, the Rays need all the support they can get at this point. I mean, they really do. I feel bad about it. I love the Rays. I want to see them win. When they lose, I understand it. I know fans are frustrated. We're all frustrated, but it is a long baseball season, so I tend to be optimistic. But the problems are all there. The pitching is not what it was because of either injuries from last year or it's just not effective enough. The bullpen in those high-leverage situations isn't good. And, of course, like you said, Randy Arozarena, a guy that you depend on to knock in a lot of runs and hit home runs, is not doing what he's been able to do the last couple of years for the Rays, and it's showing.
Yes, it is.
So
it is. All right,
Tim.
All right, buddy.
Did you watch the Coach Larry Wade interview?
I saw some of it. I went and made dinner.
Okay. Are you more interested in that Tyson Paul fight on July 20th on Netflix?
Nah, not necessarily. I'm not big into that. I'm mostly a football and I watch a little bit of base. I keep up with the Rays. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, no hockey either. No basketball, no hockey.
Man, I want the Lightning to. I grew up in Tampa. I don't know Tampa Bay up in Pinellas.
Okay.
I don't know all the rules of hockey.
Well, that's okay. That's what we're here for. We talk some hockey here. We don't necessarily know all the rules. I don't act like I know everything about hockey, but I try to talk about it, especially if you want to talk about it. So
I root for the Lightning when my younger brother.
Okay.
Sometimes around I go to some Lightning games, but I root for him to win. I love to see him do good.
What did you think about Ryan McDonough coming back? What did you think of that?
Well, I don't know much about it, but I was listening to He was on with one of the guys on DAE
Right.
earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy, he's going to make a difference.
Well, he's definitely made a difference when they
Yeah.
won Stanley Cups. Their defensive
Yeah.
rating went up both of those years, and now ever
Right.
since he's gone, the defensive
Yeah.
rating has gone down. I mean, I'm no mathematician again, not great in math when it comes to college. That's why I'm a sports broadcaster.
Yeah.
But you improve with the guy. You get excited about that. All right, Tim, thanks a lot for the call, my friend. Definitely use that second one, all right?
All right, bro. Take care.
All right, appreciate you. Good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Christopher Cole here. Hey, guys, what's going on, buddy? Again, update the score. Top of the 10th is this crazy zany rule is out there where the Royals have first guy on second, and they have an opportunity to get him in. Top of the 10th. Kelly is in right now. 0-2 throws a ball there. Let's go out to Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, out there in the Edge District of downtown St. Pete. Has been there. It seems like we've been here doing this for what? It's been 2 hours, over 2 hours at this point on a Saturday afternoon, my friend. How you doing? Welcome back.
I'm doing good, Pete. And I'll tell you what, the feeling here on the ground, the DJ starting to play a little music up front there, and there's people we're slowly starting to see a stream of fans that are working their way over from Tropicana Field to Fergs because maybe they want to get they got a favorite spot they want to get some of those the best of the Bay wings and burgers that Coach has going on over here. But yeah, it's now a full count now to the first batter in the top of the 10th there with the runner on second. Kelly versus Blanco. Oh, and he hit him.
Oh, and
the guy got the first base.
And here's the disappointing thing about that, Ray. He's down 0-2, and you lose the hitter. And it's a leadoff walk.
That's the stuff that's driving you crazy, Rays fans, in 2024, right, Pete? That's what's driving us crazy because that's what Rays teams never do. The pitchers don't go 0-2 and then lose those bats. That's the Rays get those first strikes every time, and they close the bats at the end, whether it be a hit into the outfield for an out or a base hit in the ground. But these 2024 Rays, they have a way of finding 0-2. Not only do they walk the guy with a full count, but they walk him by hitting him. Now you have first and second.
Yeah, first and second, and it hits him right there on the wrist. That probably is not feeling good right now.
I hope it hurts. He got first base on it. But, at the end of the day, it makes a force at first, second, or third. But now Kevin Cash is walking out. They're going to take Kelly out.
He's diving into it, and, of course, it's unavoidable. But if you're going to
Kelly's actually – I'm sorry. I'm just telling you that Coach Cash actually walked out to talk to the umpire, something about what you're alluding to, Pete.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Like he's coming.
He's actually out. That's a foul tip on strike 2. That's an out.
Well, that's what it looked like to me. It's not. Did it? It didn't hit him on his wrist. It hit the
bat, and it went right into. Wait, did he catch the? Okay,
catch the ball. That's an out.
So it's a foul ball. The catcher didn't catch it. It looked like on that replay, the catcher did not. Rodvet didn't catch it, but at least that's still 3-2, with the runner still at bat.
Okay, Rodvet did not catch the ball there.
He looked like he did, but I mean that's what Coach Kevin Cash is saying. Look, instead of first and second, we want him back at the plate, and they're gonna overturn this and 100%. And now, Pete, this is why going live down here is so great. This is how the evolution is happening as we speak. Now, is Kelly able to pull this strikeout, or the Rays able? These are little, and that's why I'm telling Rays fans, even if we start going, okay, Rasmussen and Jeffrey Springs and Taj, and we're going to get Sugar Shane, and this might be kind of a year where we're not front running all season, and maybe we have to make a late push in July and August, but there's still so many things to be excited about. And that's coming from someone who never thought they'd say that about Major League Baseball because, I was always about, we're winning, we're losing, we're the best team. But really, you could miss a perfect game. You could miss a controversial call out. You could miss little things. And that is the beauty of baseball. It is the marathon, not a sprint, 162 games. But there are a lot of little magic things that happen that you'll be able to say in 10 years, I was there when it happened. So stay tuned, Rays fans. The season is well far from over.
Okay, so hold on a minute. I'm trying to produce this, do a live show while I'm watching.
They're fighting.
It says the call stands.
Well, Dombraro's out now arguing with the umpire. So why is the Royals manager arguing if the call stands and they give him the bait? No, I'm still seeing 3-2 on the screen as far as the count goes. They haven't taken the count away.
Yeah, so I'm kind of confused at this point because I guess it was a foul ball, and I thought that they originally awarded the hitter,
the base, right?
Again,
but now
I love it.
Okay, so here we go. I'm since I'm 30 seconds ahead for you, I'll tell you right now. Kelly's going into his windup. You still have the runner at second, no out. Stop at a 10th. Kelly makes the delivery on a full count. Foul ball. I'm not going to I don't bore everybody with it, but, you know, it's a foul ball off to the left side, but maybe he gets a strikeout. And now we've got fans coming back, and we got a band coming in tonight. Hey, y'all, what's the name of the band? Who y'all the band playing tonight? What's the name of your band? What is it? Swipe Right. Swipe Right's down here live on a stage at First on a Saturday night.
Why don't you get them on camera really quick and talk to them?
I should have, but they look like they're having a meeting as far as maybe they're working on that playlist for tonight, but the set list. But yeah, Swipe Right's on the stage, and Coach has a band down here every night. So as the fans come over here,
He lost them.
He lost them. Dang it!
He threw the same freaking pitch inside, and yeah.
I didn't say it was exciting. I mean. But, you know, Pete, what a day we've had here. When you told me you had the trainer, Larry Wade, coming in here, talk about what is, you know, it may seem like it's still 6 weeks away, and it is July 20th there at AT&T Stadium. But I'll guarantee you that this Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight, there'll be 80,000 people live in that stadium, more people than went to the Brady roast there out in the LA Forum. And it'll be one of the biggest iconic things this summer is the interest in this fight and having Coach Larry Wade. That's why when you asked me to ride side on a Saturday, I'm like, just tell me time and place.
Yeah, time and place. Let's update the score right now or update the game. Bunt there, out at first, now second and third. And the top of the 10th with one out. So now the meeting of the minds, if you will, as Kyle Snyder has come out to talk to Cal. I don't know what he's trying to I think he's just stalling at this point.
Is Kyle Snyder a witch? What he does with this Rays pitching staff year in and year out. I mean, he's had some misses this season, but he still has quite a few hits. And what a guy! What a great pitch! Because we go back to Larry Rothschild, who was with the Rays, and how he came over from the pitching staff and ended up being a pitching coach for the Yankees after he coached here in the Rays. And all we've seen, it seems like a pitching coach is kind of an important thing to have. And I think having Schneider on our side has been one of the great things to this Rays. Why they've been able to have that success year in and year out, even as they turn over that rotation.
Yeah, hasn't been able to figure out Savali, but Savali he pitched.
I said he's had some misses.
Yeah, he pitched better. All right, let's go out to Brian Cook here. What's up, Ray K? Brian Cook, thanks a lot for tuning in, as always, here on Evolution.
Yeah.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391, 877-255-0391. I'm watching the game right now. Witt at the plate and ball one. Kelly not even close. I mean, do you take a chance here, or do you just walk him, get the bases loaded, and try to go with the forced play? Tell you what, let's go out to this guy.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to the tribal troll, Mr. Roger Shue. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Yours truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy on a Saturday afternoon edition. How you doing, buddy?
What happened at 10 o'clock this morning?
10 o'clock this morning did not happen. We changed the time, and that's okay. We decided to do 4:30 instead. We've been on since 4:30, and now it is nearly 7 o'clock. So you've missed a lot.
I got no notification. I just saw that you're live, so I was calling. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, I don't know why you're not getting.
I don't know what just happened, but the Rays, they just showed Kelly walking to the sideline, showing his cap and his glove to the umpire. So I think we got out of that jam.
Yeah, you didn't get out of the jam. It's still bases loaded. Cash is coming out, and he is relieving Kelly. So you got bases loaded, one out. Of course, it is a force play. You also have the double play here, but you have to play for this run. I believe with this team right now, you're not playing for a double play. I think you're all playing in at those positions, as the Rays are tied with the Royals and extra innings, top of the 10th. So we'll keep you up to date on that situation. What's up, Roger?
So how did the interview go with Jake Paul's manager? I'm gonna rewind and watch the whole show.
Good, man, really good. We had 30 minutes with him, and he a lot of great sound bites, a lot of great information. So definitely go back and watch it. And as always, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube, and friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake to see this great content that we got coming out every Monday and
Tampa
Wednesday.
Bay Ray, when you bring back the half shirt?
Let's not bring back the half shirt. How about
right now, baby? I got some.
Get out of here now. Go away.
I was great job.
I was breathing a little because it was a little muggy out here, Roger. But hey, Roger, when are you going to bring me some Portillo's for lunch?
You sexy beast.
Roger, I think Roger's drunk at this point. It sounds like.
Well, who's not? Well, Peter's not. But.
Roger, you got.
I'll DoorDash, yeah.
Listen, Tampa Bay Ray, he had a question for you.
Roger, go ahead, brother.
Roger had a question for you. Who had the question?
Go ahead, Roger.
I think Ray had the question for Roger. When are you going to get him?
Oh, yeah, Roger, when are you going to give me some Portillo's? You got Peter. Peter makes a landmark decision that he's going to go ahead and not put ketchup on his hot dogs moving forward. And I'm wondering, when am I going to get some Portillo's so I can make big decisions like these in my life?
Ray, you're a normal human being. I don't have to worry about you. Normal human being.
Shut up! He knows you. He knows you, Pete.
Whatever. All right, Roger. What else? Anything else?
That's it, man. I'm gonna finish.
Roger.
Watch the replay and catch the Jake Paul coach.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always, Roger.
Roger, I'm going to have a post-game show after Peter lands this one. I'm going to take off with the Rays fans, and it's going to be clothing optional. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Yeah, please.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Lovely is in now, and he's got 0-2 count. They got him from the Cubs, so we'll see how that works out.
0-2 count. Let's see how this one goes.
Yeah, I want to go out to Instagram here. Frankie writing, they should have never left Minnesota. Ray, LeBron James to Dallas rumors.
Try him. One out. He's trying home, and the Royals took a lead. Okay, we got 2 outs, but they got to run home, so it's going to be 4-3 with 2.
All right, so yeah, fly ball to left here.
Who's that? Is that Ramirez in left?
Ramirez, yep.
I think, because look at this. I think that, I'm sorry, but last year, Randy makes this throw. And look at Ramirez tries, but it's off base, not even close to home. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have. Again, I'm not putting Ramirez down. Harold's always trying hard, but maybe this is again. I think last year the coach on third at least thinks twice about sending that runner with Randy in left instead of Ramirez.
He bounced the ball 3 times there to home plate. So
no bueno.
And then the runner slipped down with his hand going across the plate. So that's Renfroe there, former Tampa Bay Ray Hunter Renfroe.
Oh, things just get worse.
Yep. All right. So 4-3 now. Royals, Love Lady in, strike 1 right there quickly with the slider. So we'll see how this works out. Let me read these comments. LeBron James to Dallas rumors.
They're out.
Tampa Bay.
Go to the bottom of the 10th. Go to the bottom of the 10th, down 4-3.
How about Kate Ottenman? Absolutely thoughts on Ricky Bell being added to the Ring of Honor. Hey, try to be a Cubs fan. I did grow up as a Cubs fan, so I definitely know your pain. Ricky Bell, Ring of Honor. We've talked about that. Rumors are possibly Tom Brady's going to go in the Ring of Honor. I know a lot of Bucs fans want James Wilder to go in the Ring of Honor. Your thoughts on that prestigious honor with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Brother, thanks for asking me. Ricky Bell, he was my first. He was the guy that was saving Doug Williams' butt, and I was there, at the age of 8 years old at the old Big Sombrero watching Ricky Bell. Ricky Bell was the first player I ever saw that never left the field at the end of the game that wasn't already exhausted, and that's why when we learned that he had that rare disease that he ends up passing away 2 years after he's traded or he goes out to the Chargers, and you realize, but Ricky got beat up so hard playing in his Buccaneers offense. James Wilder, he was the one that actually first running back to close the deal. And I definitely think James Wilder should be in that Ring of Honor. But I'll take you someplace that just this last week, I've got one of those desktop calendars, all the Buccaneer questions, and I got to the one for yesterday. And it said, this Buccaneers linebacker made the Pro Bowl 5 of his 7 years that he was in Tampa Bay in the 90s. Who was that, Pete?
Pro Bowler in the 90s?
5 of 7 years in the 90s. So he couldn't be Derek Brooks. He came in 55, so it would only be 5 years in the 90s. What?
Hardy Nickerson.
The person that Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp will tell you taught them how to be a pro, taught them how to break down film. Hardy Nickerson signing as a free agent coming to Tampa Bay was the biggest tectonic shift in the earth or in the base that was the Buccaneers organization. He was a pro's pro, and he taught Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks how to be pros, and even Rondé Barber and John Lynch. And if you don't put Hardy Nickerson in the ring, Glazers, Darcy Glazer and Brian and Joel, put Hardy Nickerson in the ring while we can still celebrate him. And let's admit it, I'm not saying because they didn't buy the team till 95 and Hardy was already 1 foot out the door. Get Hardy Nickerson in that Ring of Honor. There's some other players who deserve to be there, but Hardy Nickerson, he's the one I'm championing for today.
All right. So the situation is, of course, Harold Ramirez now on second with that crazy rule. So the Rays have a chance to tie this game up. Aesop Paredes at the dish. He is 0 for 3. So basically that means he's due. 4-3 Royals over the Rays, and strike one right down the pipe there with the sinker. Let's go out.
1-1 now.
Yep. Okay. If you're on the road, you got to score at least 2 runs in the top of the 10th to be safe. Agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, the safe one. You score those 2 runs, you really put the onus on the home team. But, I mean, 1 run could be the difference, but hopefully you think you're putting the guy in second for the home team here at the bottom of the 10th. You think the Rays should be able to at least get that 1 run across the home plate. So, yeah, I think if you get that 2 run, I think usually we find more often than not, if the away team scores those 2 runs at the top of the 10th inning, the home team will have, unless you're the Yankees, and they've got like, what, a $700 million payroll.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go out to Tim here. I agree 100% Ray about Hardy. Yeah, Hardy definitely deserves to be in that Ring of Honor, and we even said that Ward Dunn belongs in the Ring of Honor. Not only what he did on the field, but off the field, if that counts. High pop up there. Looks like it's going to be caught. One out. Right there. Paredes with the fly out. Ramirez.
They couldn't advance the runner because it was to the right, the left field side, but.
Yep. So the Rays continue once again to kind of struggle and scuffle, if you will, even though they scored 3 to get back in this game. They're still
still scuffling. I mean, that's the thing. Now, you've got teams out there. You see teams like the Pirates, and we talked about the Astros, 6 years ago. You got teams out there that they don't show up every day. I keep using the word the heart and hustle, right? Because that went with our Rays team. And that's actually going to be out number 2. So, yeah, we still have 2 outs, but we advanced the runner to third. So now with 2 outs, we advance Ramirez to third base. If somehow we can score, Pete, do you consider bunting the ball here? A surprise suicide squeeze, maybe? I mean, what else can the Braves do? Who's at bat? I don't know.
Because they're not good at bunting, and they never do it. And you try to execute this, and then later a part of the inning with 2 outs. Nah.
Yeah, but if you execute the bunt, like you say, they're not good at it. Nobody these days is good at it. Maybe you get the tying run back across the plate and you buy yourself another inning.
You got Mr. DeLuca at the plate here.
He just took all the way.
0 for 4.
He took all the way. It's a strike.
Yeah.
Come on, D. Oh, wait. The crowd's cheering across the street. Something happened. I hear the crowd just went crazy. I'm hearing them cheer from the stage here at First Backyard.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's see it together here.
It might be a walk-off, brother, because DeLuca just went to 0-2.
Hold on.
DeLuca's got 0-2, but I hear 30,000 people across the street going crazy, and those aren't freaking Royals fans. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, maybe you can hear them through my speakers.
They're not Red Sox fans, and they're not.
I'll tell you what it was right here. DeLuca, he hit the run home. We scored it. DeLuca's going to be on first, maybe second, but we got the tying score, so we won another inning, baby.
All right, there you go. So the Rays tied
up. Sit back and watch it now. I reported it. Watch it.
All right, there we go.
There you go. That's why, Peter, you talked about who else has got trainer Larry Wade on a Saturday, Jake Paul's trainer. Who else has got it live down here at Ferg's across from Tropicana Field, bringing you updates of the Rays game before even you get it on whatever platform you're streaming those Rays on this Saturday. That, my friends, is the evolution of sports talk. That's all I'm saying.
It was a rope there. Great hitting by DeLuca. Just, not trying to pull it. Just take.
I'm still hearing cheering. We might actually have gotten it. We might get a hit and get DeLuca home. DeLuca's on second. I'll let you know. I haven't heard that scream yet.
If it gets home, it's over with. It's a walk-off. So DeLuca's
there you go.
Here we go. All right, strike 1 there to Jose Cowboy, as they call him.
It's 1-1.
1-1 now. Okay.
But how awesome! I'm going to go and say this, Peter. You got Coach Mark, Ferguson, and I want to tell you thanks because you know what, Coach? Coach has been coach since we've been doing live Bucks game shows out here. 2018? It's been like 7 years. But to have him come up here, he was in a great mood. I want to say thank you to that, brother, because we appreciate Coach. He's an icon here in St. Petersburg, here at the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill.
All right, so
he's like, all right, shut up, brother.
No. I want to see if he gets it now.
Because we're fans.
Yeah,
we're fans here.
2-1 now, high on that pitch.
Oh, it's 3-1.
3-1 now. See, you're ahead of me on this.
No, I'm sorry. You know what? It's 3-2.
All right.
Wait, no, 2-2. I can't.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're
I don't
killing
get my glasses on. My glasses, but I can't. I want to tell you all something right now. I told you everyone's out front because Swipe Right's getting ready to go on stage. But I have 20 tables out here with a large big screen. Oh, base hit. No, right to the second baseman, so it's out. We're going to the top of the 11th. Put the runner on second, but we got a shot. The Rays are still in this thing.
All right, 4-4 here as the game will never end now as we decided to. Oh, man, and he hit it good and he hit it right to the
He
short.
did. If that ball gets beneath that shortstop, that's the run home. DeLuca crosses the plate. But, we're already live here. What else we got, Pete? Anyone want to talk Buccaneers? We haven't talked too much. Or
Well, what we can do is really quick, if you want, we can save our lungs here. Go out to the Chris Godwin interview that was taking place this week. So let's go ahead and do that while we're on commercial break. We'll come back with any Rays coverage at this point here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Stand by. Chris Godwin spoke to the media this week. Really interesting comments about the new third wide receiver and Jalen McMillan here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go.
How y'all doing? I'm great, man. Appreciate it.
So Liam Cohen mentioned last time we talked to him that he's going to be moving back inside.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to going back to the position you kind of really thrived at.
Yeah, I am. I think what I learned over the last 4 or 5 years, I'm really comfortable there. Obviously, I feel like I have a lot of versatility to play inside and outside. But I think that the flexibility of being inside just allows me to be able to get more creative. Allows me to be a little bit more involved, in a run game without it being so so obvious. But I think also it allows other guys to be able to move around a bunch as well. And I think that seems to be part of the emphasis of the offense too, is allowing guys to be versatile to play in whatever spots we need to be.
You like the physicality of that position?
Yeah, I do. I think it just allows me to be involved in more ways than just catching the ball. It's a lot of fun, and it's a mental strain as well. Having to know so much more, I think it keeps me really locked in. It just keeps me learning or improving on my knowledge of the game.
What are your initial impressions of Jalen?
I like him, man. I think he seems like he's a good kid. From day one, you can tell that he's been coming here eager to learn. He's got real good movements about him, good hands. You could tell that he was coached really well. So I think he's going to be a great fit for our room.
You and Mike have been together so long last year. You want to go contract
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
You're in a similar situation.
Yeah.
Anything from that is how do you approach, you when you're in this position like you did before?
Yeah, I think I feel like one thing that you guys have learned with me and Mike is I feel like we're the ultimate pros, right? We come in, we handle our business. We understand the off the field stuff is a business element there too. Kind of have to let that take care of itself. But we're both guys that enjoy what we do. We enjoy the people that we work with. So I'm grateful to be here, grateful to be out here and putting the work in. And it's a beautiful day here. It's hard to beat these bright sunny days, right? Even though it's warm, it's the humidity is not fully here yet. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Chris, what's the best thing about Liam Cohen's offense conceptually, either what you're learning in the classroom or on the field here?
I think, like I was saying earlier, I think it's a lot of diversity. I think that there's going to be a lot of moving parts for defense to have to figure out. And I think how they're teaching it is going to allow for us to have, how do I say, a lot of cohesiveness within the offense, right? We have a bunch of different terms and phrases that can get us into one formation or one play that looks like a different play. So I think how it all marries up will be really beneficial for us.
With a lot of there's a bunch of formations too.
Yeah.
That has to help in terms of some free releases, either for you or other guys within that bunch formation.
Yeah, for sure. It helps with free releases, but it also helps with the run game. So I'm sure it helps the offensive line. I think it'll probably help with the quarterback as well, just in terms of being able to ID what the defense is doing. There's clearly a lot of thought that goes into what we do. And I appreciate how passionate Liam is about what he does. He's really juiced up about this. So I think it's going to be fun.
Communication's got to be huge in this kind of offense with Baker calling the play. Basically got the line with multiple plays coming in and then calling at the last minute here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Communication is at a premium in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. But that's why we're here, working on it now, so that when we get to training camp, we're not starting from the ground. We already have the foundation and we can really build from there.
How's the install going? What stands out to you about it?
I think just how complex it is was probably like the thing that stands out the most right now. Like, we have to learn, we have to know a lot. Like as an offense, as receivers, we have to know a lot. But it's cool that they put like the onus on the players, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that's out there playing. So for us to be kind of empowered in that way, I think has been a cool change, and I think it's something that as we kind of build and as we learn, like we'll be able to see guys take a little bit more and more control.
Chris, you're a year after the year after getting injured.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Start to feel a little better, mentally, all this sort of. How proud are you of the fact that, first of all, how are you doing it, and how proud are you of the fact that consistently, like you're on a streak of 1,000 yards, you have your own streak,
Yeah.
that you've not dropped any production?
Yeah, man. It's well, first I appreciate you asking. I'm doing well. I think each year I get a little bit better and better, start to feel a little bit more and more like myself. So that's always exciting. And then I think just like for me, it's always been about consistency. And, I think quietly, I don't know, many people know, but I've had, my own streak of 1,000 yards, with 3 and, including the year that I got hurt, and I don't think that's something that's easy to do. So I'm proud about that, because it speaks to my level of professionalism, being able to work through adversity, but also in, my teammates and coaches' belief in me to go out and make the plays. So like I said, I'm fortunate to be here. Just grateful to be able to do what I love. I don't know, there's not many people that get to do what they love, and especially in a forum that's so public like this, right? You're doing it in front of the world, and so I'm just really, really appreciative of it.
All right, on that note, let's go back out to it here. Let's update the score. Bad news, Rays fans. Royals have scored 2 runs here on a double. Another hit past third baseman. I believe it's Paredes on that. And shortstop can't get to it, so now 6-4. Lovelady giving all this up right now. 2 men on, nobody out. So a disastrous inning if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan.
And I saw Rays fans as you were listening. That was a great Chris Godwin soundbite, but I got Rays fans that are running across the street, and they're coming to get their spots here at Ferg's. Probably want to come over and grab a bite to eat, the world famous Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. I'm like, yeah, they give, and what did that questioner just ask earlier? You get those 2 runs, is a 2-run lead. The Rays don't even have their first out yet here in the 11th or the 10th, and or the 11th, I'm sorry, and they've got that 2-run lead. The Royals do. So if the Rays can come back from this one, it'll be iconic. Oh, it'll be big.
I don't know about iconic. But
yeah, I just don't overuse that word.
Lately, for this team, I guess you could say iconic, because
iconic to score 2 runs in an inning, yeah, late in extras.
So 6-4 here. Royals, no outs, 0-2 by Lovelady. Does he get him? He does not. That's a ball. So,
brother, I'll tell you what though.
Yep.
He popped him out. But he's going deep center, but they won't advance, so they got the first out. But just a great show today. I mean, I'm so psyched about this, because there's been nobody I've talked to about this Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Nobody said I won't watch it. Everybody said Tyson will beat the crap out of Jake, or the younger crowd says Jake will go ahead and take the old man down at the age of 57. But nobody said they won't watch. It's going to be such a huge event this summer, and it's on Netflix. And Netflix, shout out Netflix, since the Brady roast and they start bringing it live, they're really throwing their hat into the ring on these live broadcasts. And I expect Netflix to be controlling the NFL someday on their medium.
Listen, they already have 2 Christmas games,
right?
Games there. You got WWE Raw coming in 2025. So Netflix right now, I mean, they're filling it. Lovelady, I don't know where the hell he's throwing that pitch at, but threw it to El Segundo. Right.
But I'll tell you what, Netflix, I mean, I'm crushing The Crown, which is about the royal family, The Crown. I hadn't watched seasons 3 through 6. 6 was the last one. So I went with 6 last week. Now I'm on season 5. I'm crushing that. Charles and Diana just got the separation legalized by the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth. But so Netflix is locking it down. But shout out to Netflix. I didn't know until I was doing research, Peter, for today's interview with Larry Wade, which, by the way, you never let me get in there, but I got it. Coach is, he's busy, so you gotta take care of your guests there. But Netflix is really bringing it up. When I saw that this Tyson Paul Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight was going to be on Netflix in July, I'll be honest, just seeing how they handled the Brady Roast, seeing how Netflix is doing now with the NFL games, I was kind of excited. Well, first because I have that streaming service already, but second because they're doing things right. Yeah. I'm hearing some crowds cheering from over across the street, so they must have got out of this inning somehow.
Well, they're doing things right here if you're the Royals, but 1 out, 3-1 here.
I'm thinking double play coming up right here. I heard the crowd cheering, so I'm going to guess double play.
It would be interesting if it were double play, and most likely if it is, that's the reason why the crowd would cheer in the first place here. Christopher Cole says, the Cubs traded Lovelady for a reason, laugh out loud. Yeah, he had about a 7 or 8 sub ERA.
You know what, though, Pete? I'm going to say this. It was a fantastic catch by Jose Siri, which actually saved a run. Wait till you see this. Jose Siri, this is hard.
Oh,
right?
So,
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So even though the Rays aren't having a success maybe in the wins-loss columns in a toughening American League East and American League, in general, you still got plays like that going on. And that, my friends, is reasons for excitement.
Well, that's a reason for excitement. We haven't seen that from Siri. We haven't seen that all year long, but that's the potential for that young center fielder, what he showed last year with that range and that glove work right there. And he saved a run a couple innings ago where Ramirez loses it in the lights, and you're trying.
And Jose's right there, yeah. So I was talking about Jose. Was he a liability last season in the center field there in Kevin Kiermaier's old position? Was he a liability this year as the Rays have been struggling? And turns out, no, he's probably one of the more consistent pieces the Rays currently have on his team as they search for the way to get this thing turned around.
Well, he's had his moments this year where he's looked lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Boot camp word there. Let's go out. Christopher Colby already read that one, but what a play there. Great. Timed it out well. Reaches out. Nothing too fancy. Fundamentally sound, and he's definitely all dirtied up. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for Mr. Jose Siri.
That's a good thing. And I'm not like the good thing, like if he was all dirtied up, talking about Wander Franco. That dirtied up, not a good thing. Yeah. But this Jose Siri thing, this dirtied up, this is a good thing.
All right, guys, open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay right there, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Great day of interviews and talk here about the Tampa Bay Rays as we give it to you live. Hopefully this Rays team can snap that losing streak of 5 games versus a team like the Royals right now, who are playing with supreme confidence, a young team that doesn't know they need to lose. And look, they'll go through their stretch where they're going to lose some games. So right now, they are a hot team. So what do you got planned for this weekend as we kind of wrap this up and see if the Rays can come back? What do you got planned?
Going back to when I was just a little knee-high to a grasshopper, young little Irish boy with the same big head that I have, running around out there in Reddington Beach. Hold on. Oh, no. Yeah, it's 17. They just got that. They got that third run. So, yeah, let's go ahead, Peter. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I'll go ahead and tell you that I will definitely be tuned in for the Indianapolis 500 there. That's one of my Memorial Day. I've always loved the Indy 500, going back to Al Unser and Mario Andretti and, even with Formula One and all this. So I still enjoy that. But other than that, just spending some time with the family. My oldest is back from – I see how you're struggling with this. But, yeah, I'm going to enjoy the holiday weekend. How about you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely enjoy the holiday weekend. And speaking of enjoying the holiday weekend, the Royals are enjoying the beach balls. That love lady up there, who most likely will not be in this pitching rotation very much longer, as he's throwing all kinds of meatballs up there for the Royals. 7-4 now. Kevin Cash coming out, coming to get him, hopefully for the last time.
Shout out to the KC Royals, though. I got a guy at work. He's a great friend. I'm going to go ahead and shout out to my guy, Nate. He played offensive line. He's a huge guy, played for Clearwater Tornadoes, and now he works with me there at UPS. And he wears all the lids. He wears the Royals lid, and he wears the Monarchs lid. And I want to go ahead and do a shout out to the Royals because, of course, one of the best teams in the Negro Leagues back in the days was the Kansas City Monarchs. And when the Royals came into existence as the Major League Baseball, the Royals Royals was a play on the Monarchs name. So you talk about the Royals, George Brett, success here and there. KC, Bo Jackson went there instead of to Tampa Bay. Why did that idiot choose them? But, I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for the Royals, not when they're playing our Rays, but the fact that there was a great homage going back to the Negro Leagues and the Kansas City Monarchs and the Royals and some of that history in baseball and some of the good stuff there. Because, again, I always say, to understand or respect where you're going, you got to know where you came from, and that's that.
Buck O'Neil.
Buck O'Neil, yes.
Yeah, see, I know a little Negro League baseball right there. Good stuff.
Good times.
That's the reason why they traded him. Absolutely, it's the reason. We're seeing the reason why they traded him in the first place. We'll see if the Rays can turn him around. We'll see if the Rays can get back in this game. I don't think we should stay on much longer. I'm pretty much tired. I think, nearly 3 hours of sports talk. I'm done with it at this point. So
I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'm going to get off. I'll let you wrap this beautiful thing up. And I'll say this. I'm going to go ahead and order me 10 of these delicious Ferg's wings. I'm sorry, Pete, I can't help you out there. And I'm going to stick around here just in case we get a rally in the bottom of the 11th here. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm not saying it will. But if it does, then I'll be live here in the Sports Web for a post-game wrap-up of what might be one of the most exciting games yet in the 2024 season for these Tampa Bay Rays. But, Peter, thanks for letting me be on the show here today with Coach Larry Wade. Looking forward to the fight in July. Let's get credentialed. Let's go over to the AT&T. Let's show them how the boys from Sports Web do it.
Love it. Good stuff there. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Thanks a lot for your time here on The Evolution, all right?
Love you, brother. Take care.
Love you too, brother. There you go. Good stuff. So 7-4 right now. 2 outs, 2 on. Devanski pitching. His ERA, not much better, like 7 ERA. So we'll see if he can get out of this situation. And then we'll wrap this puppy up. Let's see. Yeah, not a strike there. So 2-1. We're just going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. Thanks a lot to all our guests, of course. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy on with us today. Coach Larry Wade of the Jake Paul camp. And as always, the calls and the comments. You guys are the lifeblood of what we do here on The Evolution. There it is. Grounder. Rays are out of the inning. So we'll see if they can come back in the next inning. We're going to get off here. But guys, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake and do 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here they are. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay Sports Fan, it's your time. We'll see you soon on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Have a good night. And as always, go Bucks and raise up.